Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here. It's Friday, TGIF, and we have a preview today for the home opener for the season for the Raptors here in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. We're going to be playing the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, and it's going to be exciting. I'm excited about it. It's, they're also having the World Series Game 1, so it's a little crazy downtown. And what's going to happen is that we're going to have an early start for the game tonight. So it's really important to get across this information to anybody who's going to the game tonight. The game starts at 6:30. Doesn't start at 7:30. Doesn't start at 7. The game starts at 6:30. That doesn't mean the doors open at 6:30. That doesn't mean that you should show up at 6:30. That means you should get there for 6 at least, if not 5:30. Because one of the things that's important for the home crowd is helping the team start right. And too often I've seen since the pandemic and different stuff, different times it starts, and people are not there and in their seats to start the game, and namely the lower bowl, especially right near the court. So I hope that MLSE and the Raptors put out the information on a broad scale so that people understand this and they make adjustments accordingly to their Friday today. This is a big deal. I know I'm harping on it right now, right at the top, but it's just something that matters. It matters to help the team get to a good start, and it looks better on TV. We don't want to look bad as a crowd because it looks empty at the very beginning of our season. I'm telling you right now, it'll send the wrong impressions to some people. It'll be like, oh, nobody's at the Raptors game. I guess everybody's at the Blue Jays game and all kinds of bullshit like that. So if you're privileged and lucky enough to be going to the game tonight, don't dilly-dally. Don't waste your damn time. Get down there ASAP. And if you have to work till 5 or something like that, well, leave immediately. Go straight to the arena. Don't try and go home. If you can get off work early. And go down there early and, but just make sure y'all are in your seats before 6:30 because that ball will be tipped at that time. And that's an important thing we need is our crowd there for everybody else, for them to be supported and for us to look good on TV. Seriously, because I don't want no empty arena. I don't want to be looking at really expensive tickets that some asshole got and they don't even come to the game until the third quarter. So none of that Miami Heat bullshit, all right? Come to the game on time. Watch the whole game. You pay a lot of money for the ticket. You want to watch Scotty Barnes. You don't want to miss anything. So you want to get there for 6:30, Raptors fans. I cannot harp on this enough if you're going to that game. They have amazing shirts they're giving y'all tonight. Amazing black shirts with white lettering, Raptors shirts. And get there, get your shirt, get in the crowd, and sit down and watch the game. So let's get right into it with the latest lineup news. I see Trevor Jace got a question here. Darko and CMB interview yesterday. What do you think he is coming back? What do you think he's coming? What do you think he coming back tonight? What do you think he come? All right. They had practice interviews yesterday, and everything that they said and the way they said it is Colin's playing tonight. I don't think there's any doubt that Colin Murray-Boyles will make his Raptors debut tonight. He will be playing for the Raptors tonight because they want to play him on Giannis. Darko made that very, very clear. In fact, he was gleeful when he was talking about this in the interviews, saying, you've been putting Colin on the toughest players. You put him on Sabonis. You put him on Jokic. You're going to put him on Giannis? And Darko went like this. He went, I don't see why not. And he's like joyful. He's like, yeah, I'm a mad scientist, and I want to put my Frankenstein on Giannis, the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo. So this is going to be interesting. Scotty will probably have to guard Giannis to start the game, but when the bench comes in, they're going to flip Colin onto Giannis. And that's your new assignment. And as Darko put it, he's like, I want to see him against the best right away. I want to show Murray-Boyles what this league's highest levels are like so that he can understand where the bar is set. And that's the whole reasoning behind this. And like they said, they're all the way that the reporters were asking the questions, all the way that Darko was saying, the speech pattern. See, that's what I do. When I watch these interviews, I see what they're telling me. I don't just I read between the lines, but I listen to their structure of their sentences. And all the sentences were structured that Colin Murray-Boyles is playing tonight. Even Colin himself let it slip in some ways, straight up saying, yeah, it's going to be nice. I'm expecting it. The reporters are saying, what's it going to be like to have your debut? See, they're all talking like he's set to play tonight, and he will play tonight. The other thing that shows that Colin's probably going to play tonight is that he did full contact at the practice yesterday. So he went full contact, and that's usually a sign that somebody's just about to come back. So, yeah, fully expect Colin Murray-Boyles to be in the lineup tonight and guarding Giannis. Yeah, that's the assignment for him. Now, Jacoby is different. Jacoby is sick, and he is out for tonight for sure. So no Jacoby Walter for the Raptors. But I'm telling you right now, I will once again do one of these things where I say Raptor Freak put his reputation on the line. Colin Murray-Boyles will suit up and play for the Raptors and make his debut in his rookie season tonight at Scotiabank Arena against the Milwaukee Bucks. So be ready for Combo. I guess we're calling him that, or CMB coming down there to guard Giannis. Now, is Giannis going to be there? That's the next question. Is Giannis going to be there to play against the Raptors tonight? He is on the injury list, guys. He is probable, though. Yeah, Giannis has a back issue. And, well, we know in the past couple of years, Giannis will dodge the Raptors. He will. He mysteriously just takes a rest day whenever we play him sometimes. I think it's the style of play that we played for a couple of years. Is very physical and defensive and aggressive. And that, he sometimes just wants the sideline when the Raptors are playing the Bucks. So it could be. I see James is saying here, I hope Giannis plays. It makes the game more enjoyable. Don't want a blowout. I want a blowout for the Raptors and win. Yeah, I'm not like you, bro. I love a blowout on the Bucks because I want the NBA to see just how badass we are. And if we rout the Bucks by 20 tonight, just like we routed the Hawks by 20 the other night, that's good because that's making them notice. That's making them wake up. So I fully want a blowout. If we can get a blowout with or without Giannis, I don't give a shit. I am not like you on this one, James. You keep saying, I want a competitive game. I don't want blowouts. And that's not me, bro. I want the Raptors to dominate and kick the shit out of other teams. And if we beat them by 40, I'm smiling big. I have no problem with blowouts. So, yeah, I don't want to blow out the other way. Let's just put it that way. That's the only blowout I don't want is Milwaukee blowing us out. But yeah, if we blow out the Bucks tonight, that looks good. And we get more consideration for the ESPN power rankings. So it's not a bad thing. Now, there is, like I said, a chance that Giannis is sitting tonight because he is probable with his back. But we'll see if he chickens out or not. He has chickened out on a Raptors game at least once a season in the last couple of years. There's always at least one game where Giannis sits and he doesn't play against us. And it's often here in Toronto. So, I mean, I don't think it's likely because it's the beginning of the season. He's not that hurt. And to be honest, without Giannis out there, the Bucks are totally cooked. Totally cooked. And we are definitely kicking their ass if Antetokounmpo is not playing. The other injury for the Bucks right now is Kevin Porter Jr., who twisted his ankle in the season opener against the Washington Wizards. And it's a serious twist of the ankle. He's going to miss both the games on this road trip this weekend, the one against us tonight, and the game against Cleveland for them on Sunday. So no Kevin Porter Jr., and that is basically the injury list. I also wonder, is Kevin Porter Jr. not allowed in Canada because he's a felon? I don't know. I don't even know about those felon rules or any of that kind of stuff anymore. I really don't understand what is what with that. Exactly. So there's your injury report so far. Now, who are the Milwaukee Bucks? Because in some ways, we want to familiarize ourselves with their lineup so that we can understand who we're going to see tonight. Well, I'll say this, guys. In the last game, in the first game for the Bucks, their second highest leading scorer was Gary Trent Jr. Yeah. So this is the thing. We've gone from Giannis with Chris Middleton, Lopez, Portis, and Connaughton to Giannis with Portis and Trent is like their second scorer right now. Kuzma's coming off the bench, guys. They're not even starting Kyle Kuzma. So he's not like a second banana besides Giannis. So they're getting Gary to kind of step up, and they're going to have to depend on reliable output from Gary Trent Jr. you can see exactly where the problem is with that. Like, we could just say that right there. I mean, when the Raptors were in periods of time where we had to rely on Gary Trent Jr. to be our second best scorer, we stagnated and we had a lot of trouble with our offense at times with that because he's a streak shooter. Now, Gary hit 5 threes in their season opener, so we do need to watch out for him. This is a real key to the victory, to the win, to the path to win, to victory, to get the win. And Gary Trent Jr., if we can stop him, which I think we can because we've got great defensive personnel that can come and get him, this could be a really big key to help us. In some ways, I would say don't worry about Giannis. Let Giannis do whatever Giannis is going to do and just stop everybody else on the Bucks team. And you can beat them that way. So who are the Bucks? Well, Kevin Porter Jr. is their starting point guard right now, which is crazy. So he's out. So I don't even know who their starting point guard will be. It's very likely they'll start Cole Anthony instead of Kevin Porter Jr. So we may see Cole Anthony of the formerly of the Orlando Magic, now on the Bucks, starting at the point guard. AJ Green, who was one of their draft picks in the last couple of years, is the starting shooting guard. Gary Trent Jr. at small forward, Giannis at power forward, and Miles Turner from the Pacers last year at center. I tell you right now, Miles Turner is a great offensive center, but he's not the best defensive center. And one of the great things that'll be shown tonight when the Raptors play the Bucks is that business is open down low for us in the paint finally against Milwaukee. Over the years, the defense of Brook Lopez has been a really big dissuading of don't come down here. I'm a big caveman looking man that's going to block your shot and play physical if you come in the paint. That dude's gone, and I don't respect Miles Turner's defense. So the Raptors should be able to operate down low against the Bucks better than they have in years because Brook Lopez is a Clipper. So that'll be a very interesting part right there. I don't think that Miles Turner acquisition to Milwaukee was a good one. I think that it messed up. Miles Turner's an idiot, actually, for doing this. I know that the Pacers didn't come correct with money after their great run, but in some ways, this is a really weird kind of like switch. Turner to the Bucks from Pacers after so many years with Indiana. In some ways, Miles Turner may find out the grass isn't greener on the other side, and that maybe in some ways, I guess the Pacers didn't want to continue with him. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be weird to see him in the Bucks jersey after playing his whole entire career as a Pacer. On the bench, who they got? Ryan Rollins, Taurean Prince. He's another player off the bench that we may need to look out for offensively. Taurean Prince, the veteran. Kyle Kuzma, as I said, is on this team, but they're using him off the bench. Doc Rivers is. Bobby Portis is still there. He's like one of the last few longtime Bucks with Giannis. Amir Coffey has been added to their team, who's in some ways an underrated add to this team, but he's not a needle pusher. Then we got Jericho Sims, who actually started in the first game of the season. He started in the game, formerly of the Knicks. Also, we've got Mark Sears, Gary Harris, Andre Jackson Jr., and Pete Nance. So they don't go that deep. And really, they really don't go that deep. I would say after Giannis and Miles and maybe Gary, like Kyle Kuzma, the rest of their team is not that good. They're not that good. I don't think they have 5 good players on this team overall. So we should mash them. Seriously. The Bucks are not anything like they may be, like I said in recent weeks, the worst team around Giannis in his whole entire career. Like, seriously, this may be the worst roster on paper in the whole entire history of the Bucks with Antetokounmpo. It's that bad. It seriously is. Now, they won their season opener against the Washington Wizards. Okay. In some ways, it's like, you should. It's expected. But the Wizards did play tough against them and made a run for it too. But, in some ways, what we got to do against the Bucks is similar to what we did to the Hawks. If we can go down low and we can kick their ass near the basket, that would be good. Points in the paint were off the charts for the Raptors. And I see, without a Porzingis running around out there, a real shot blocker other than Giannis, we should be able to run business down low. And we need Scotty to go down there like he did in the first game. Don't settle for anything outside. Go down low and bully those guys, Scotty. Because honestly, RJ, Scotty, Brandon, all y'all can go into the lane and make shots tonight because business is open. The Milwaukee Bucks no longer have Brook Lopez. And I'm all about it. That was one of the dumbest things, too, this offseason, letting Lopez walk. They do not understand how important Lopez is to the Bucks. They just got so used to having him as a given. Well, you took him for granted. And this year you're going to realize losing Brook Lopez was one of the worst things that could happen to the Bucks because it's going to cause a chain reaction to losing Giannis, guys. I'm telling you right now, Bucks fans, if you're coming to watch my preview right now, you hear what I'm saying right now. That was a total screw up. And your front office is one of the worst front offices in the league. Y'all have not done a good job pretty much the whole time since you drafted Giannis. Most of your moves and everything you've done has been horrible, to be honest. Really, really bad. So, yeah, looking at the lineups, man, I'm telling you, in some ways, the Bucks aren't as good as the Hawks. And we're at home. We need to kick their ass. Now, let's do the ref report real quick because this is a problem. In some ways, the NBA saw what the Raptors did in their first game, and they're already sending us Scott Foster, guys. Scott Foster is our crew chief tonight, number 48, his 32nd season out of Silver Springs, Maryland. His favorite TV show is Ted Lasso. His favorite movie is Braveheart. He likes Michael Franti and Spearhead as his favorite musician. His favorite book right now is Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. His favorite meal is Maryland Blue Crab and Corn on the Cob. His favorite app is PGA Tour Live. I think he likes golf. Most like to visit Italy. His bucket list is to win the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships, and his hidden talent is body surfing. Scott Foster has officiated 1,867 games, regular season games, and 31 seasons as an NBA staff official. Foster has also refereed 263 playoff games, including 26 NBA Finals games. He worked the NBA All-Star Game in 2010 in Arlington, Texas, and 2019 All-Star Game in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, he's horrible, man. He is the worst ref today for us. We win 44% of our games with Scott Foster. He's in the red zone, and the Bucks win 56% of their games. So a heavy favor for the Bucks with crew chief Scott Foster today. And yeah, it's Scott Foster, guys. And why we have him on our home opener in the second game of the season. You know, last year we didn't see Scott Foster the whole year until like the last month of the season almost. We did not get a single Scott Foster game almost a whole year. And now we're seeing him in the second game of the season. I think this is really a sign that in some ways they're like, wow, the Raptors blew out the Hawks. Can we get a governor up there? Governor, can you go up to Toronto, sir? Yes, sir. I will go, sir. Your governor is on the way. I will govern them. And that means he's going to try and hold us back when I say governor. Just like on a go-kart. The go-kart, the dad doesn't want the go-kart lawnmower machine engine going too fast with their kid riding around the go-kart. They put a governor on the engine so it won't go over a certain speed. Well, that's what Scott Foster is. He's a governor. He's going to come here and he's going to try and limit the Raptors' offense through fucked up foul calls and weird-ass ref manipulation. So watch for it. I'm calling it right now. They're worried because the Raptors had such a good debut. Scott Foster's got to come up here and hold an L on us and help the Bucks. If you see any fucked up weird shit from the refs tonight, that is exactly what it is. And know that Lex is calling it this morning. So this is the thing, Raptors. Know the assignment. In some ways, you already went 8 versus 5 on Wednesday, and you came through the fray with the victory in the W. You may have to do something similar to that. Now, you may have to balance really being disciplined with the referees tonight and playing the way that you want to play. You know, in some ways, our depth is a strength. If we do get in foul trouble, Darko's not that worried because he's saying that, well, we've got other guys who get opportunities to play. And that foul trouble, we want to play all out. We're going to play aggressive. We're not going to worry about fouls. Maybe on key players, if people get in key foul trouble, then maybe they get taken out, and we save them for times more crucial later in the game. Sure, Jakob Poeltl. But in some ways, he's not going to hold back the Raptors' style of aggressive defense just because of foul calls or worrying about foul trouble in general. No, he wants them to play all out and do what they're doing. In fact, yesterday in his interview, somebody asked about so many fouls in the beginning of the game against Atlanta. And Darko said, you know what? That's going to happen. I want my players to play aggressive. The fouls are not a problem. That means that they're playing the way I want them to. And then Doug Smith also said, well, what about the fouls 90 feet away from the basket? And he's like, listen, Doug, I'd much rather us try and get the foul down there than at the basket when they're almost about to score. Because when they're at the basket about to score, they're going to the free throw line. So what's the difference between Shed fouling them on the other side of the half court or Shed fouling them right at the basket? Well, free throws. And that's the difference. So I like his philosophy on this. He's like, he don't give a shit. You guys come and govern him with Scott Foster. You come and fucking call the more fouls on the Raptors. We're ready for it because in some ways we're planning for it to happen like that. And that we've got the contingency plans and the ways of balancing things with our very good depth roster and our energy. We were going to sub guys in and out anyway. So go ahead and give our guys foul trouble because we got Sandro Mamu, we got Colin Murray Boyles, we got Jonathan Mobo, and these guys are ready to come in when there is foul trouble. So, yeah, Scott Foster, fuck him. Seriously. The second ref tonight is Rodney Mott, another longtime ref. We've got two of the oldest refs in the league for our refs tonight. Rodney Mott is a much fairer ref, but he's still not a very good ref for the Raptors. His 28th season, number 71 out of New Albany, Indiana. His favorite TV show is Blackish. He likes the movie Shawshank Redemption. His favorite musician, Stevie Wonder. I just called to say I love you. Yes. His favorite book is World Without Cancer. I like that. Favorite meal, vegetable stir fry. His favorite app is eBay. He'd most like to visit Jerusalem, and his hidden talent is interior design. Rodney Mott has officiated 1,526 regular season games and 56 playoff games in 27 seasons as an NBA staff official. He's also refereed the 2013 NBA All-Star Game in Houston. Yeah, Rodney is kind of the middle ref tonight. I'd say Scott Foster's the bad ref. Rodney's in the middle. We win 47% of our games with Rodney. He's in the orange zone, which is just a little bit higher than the red zone. He's not that far from Scott Foster, honestly. And meanwhile, the Bucks win 52% of their games with Rodney. So the split is 47-52 for the Bucks with the senior ref Mott. Rodney's one of these Tony Brothers, no nonsense refs. If you show respect to the game and the officials and just the NBA, he will be fine with you. But if you get out of pocket, he will be punitive towards you. So play the right way, Raptors. With Rodney Mott around there, he will reward hard work. He will reward guys that are doing it the right way on the court. So do it the right way, put in hard work, and Rodney Mott may give you the benefit of his whistle. Yeah, if the Bucks are sloppy, if the Bucks are playing lazy and playing stupid, Rodney Mott won't help them. Let's just put it that way. Scott Foster will help them no matter what. Watch. But Rodney Mott will play it down the line, and he will reward the harder working team. But he will punish a team that isn't doing it right, too. The third ref is our Canadian ref, guys. And this is kind of the way they balance the bias of the other two refs, is let's bring in Matt Callio of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, to be the third ref, number 53 in his fourth season. So he's very much outranked in the experience by the other two. His favorite TV show is Game of Thrones. He likes the movie Good Will Hunting. He listens to Eric Clapton. Yeah, Eric Clapton. His favorite book is Tuesdays with Maury. His favorite meal is steak and asparagus. His favorite app is TripIt. He'd most like to visit Portugal, and his bucket list is a Norwegian cruise. Maybe you can get a Norwegian cruise to Portugal, Matt Callio, and maybe you can book it on TripIt. And maybe they have steak and asparagus on the boat, and maybe you can read your book on the deck. Yeah, and listen to Eric Clapton too. Matt Callio has officiated 106 regular season games and 3 seasons as an NBA staff official. He's refereed 10 regular season games as a non-staff official in the 2021-2022 NBA season. Yeah, Matt is the only Canadian ref in the NBA currently right now. And, well, he's our best ref today. He actually favors us. We win 50% of our games with him, right down the line, the same amount of wins and losses. And meanwhile, the Bucks have a losing record with him, 44%. So 50-44 is the split with Matt Callio, the third ref. He favors the Raptors. So, yeah, we got Foster, Mott, and Callio Our refs tonight. Yeah. It's a really big red flag that Scott Foster's in Toronto today. It's a really, really big red flag, guys. And it may very well be, like I said, they're trying to protect NBA storylines that they want to have. And Giannis is an important entity in the NBA. And in some ways, they don't want to show the Raptors' dominance over Eastern Conference teams in certain ways. So I'm telling you, Scott Foster's a nefarious person for this game tonight. And we need to fucking watch him like under a microscope. And any funny business, Scott, we're watching you, bro. And seriously, the NBA is already under such scrutiny because of the FBI yesterday. You know, you guys got to be more on the level than ever right now, seeing as everybody's trying to throw shade on the NBA. That was totally unnecessary. I think Stephen A. Smith is right. I think that, the timing of it is so suspicious that the NBA just had its opening day and opened up, and right away the FBI is coming and throwing all this accusations and crazy shit on them. And when you look at the actual charges, it's kind of full of shit. Chauncey Billups did not gamble on games. They're totally misrepresenting this whole story. Chauncey Billups is in trouble for poker games at home. Chauncey Billups is in trouble for illegal poker games involving the mafia, where they were stealing money from clients. Basically, the racket was this. They have an NBA player who's famous, like Chauncey. And they say, hey, come and play high-stakes poker with Chauncey Billups at his house. And Gilbert Arenas was there, too. And he's a part of this, too, Gilbert. And basically, they had the whole place set up to, cheat and read cards. And the way they lure these people in with the NBA stars, and then they cheat them, and they'd win all their money and bleed them dry of money. And they had very systematic way of doing it. This is the investigation that they studied. This has nothing to do with sports betting in a lot of ways. It's almost like what Kash Patel and the FBI did yesterday is just indict the NBA with bad publicity. Because listen, the Terry Rozier stuff is not new. It's the same stuff from earlier this year. The Malik Beasley stuff is not new. It's the same stuff from earlier this year. Everything they mentioned about Jonte Porter and Toronto Raptors was all from that period of 2 years ago, and not even anything from now. And in fact, the headlines that came out, and it's hilarious, the guy called us the Toronto Rangers. First of all, I say that makes us not guilty because he's not even naming the right team. So it's not even that we're in trouble. The only reason why he named the Toronto Rangers, which is ridiculous in itself, is that these are the teams that people were betting on. We're not in trouble in any way. But Raptors fans are worried that we're in trouble because there's all these misleading articles all over fucking social media saying the teams that were mentioned were Los Angeles Lakers, Portland Trailblazers, and Toronto Rangers. And everybody's like, oh, are we in trouble? No, we're not. All they said was we were a team that they bet on. That's all they said. And that's Jonte. That's all that they're saying. It's not like they're saying anything. They're saying that these are teams that some people had bet on. And they're making it very amalgamous in general. And they're taking totally separate cases and they're throwing them all together and they're just making a mishmash of confusion and accusation. And, Terry Rozier is probably guilty. It looks like it. I didn't know if he was or not. Like I said, I believe in proven innocent until proven guilty. And, the Chauncey thing is a totally different kind of thing than having anything to do with FanDuel or sports betting or games. But they make you think it's all together in one big conspiracy, don't they? No, it's not. And they don't have a whole lot to go on because they got to drag Jonte and all his shit out from 2 years ago. So it's a really convoluted, fucked up scheme to have bad publicity for the NBA in their opening week. And some people say, oh, these are operations that were happening underneath Biden. It's not Trump coming after them. No, the timing of it is very much Trump. The timing of it and the distraction. Once again, they need to distract from Epstein files. They need to distract from the destruction of the United States, literally, the White House, the closing down of the Statue of Liberty, and the destroying of democracy in general. They just need a new distraction every week. And let's destroy a distraction on the NBA, a league that's predominantly black. We're coming after people of color in all kinds of different areas around the world. Why don't we do this? And I think Stephen A. Smith's right. I think Stephen A. Smith is right. All right. Blackhawk, I'm not taking calls today, just so you know. I mean, if you're calling to talk about this, I don't want to do it. So I'm sorry. Neil, I'm not going to take the call today. because I want to talk about this really seriously, and I'm not taking counterpoints on this. This shit is bad because in some ways, you know what he's doing, the FBI and all them, they're bowing up to Adam Silver. And this is the thing, they may have fucking bitten off more than they can chew. The history of the NBA commissioner is a pit bull lawyer that is somebody who's very, very astute in law and is very protective of the entity called the NBA. This is David Stern's way of doing things. David Stern is like, nah, you don't mess with the NBA. He's got mob ties, sure. He's got crazy lawyer ties too. And he's been able to do major things to protect the NBA in the past, David Stern. Now, if they're going to come at the NBA like this with bad publicity and stuff like that, don't mistake. Adam Silver's going elbows up. And they may not want to do this. You may not want to poke the entity that's the billion-dollar enterprise called the NBA, Trump world. Because seriously, they're powerful. You could say that the NBA shut the world down when the pandemic happened. Think about that. Seriously, Rudy Gobert and a microphone made shutdown happen in a pandemic and all that. The NBA is a billion-dollar corporation. It's huge. So much money. And it's not only that, all the teams are owned by billionaires themselves. There's a coalition of billionaires involved in the NBA that make a lot of money off the NBA. So what? You're going to try and come and fuck up the NBA with bad pub and all this other bullshit? You might find elbows up from very powerful, rich people, Donald Trump and the FBI. You may very much find some backlash. And you know what? In some ways, I'm rooting for this. You piss off enough billionaires, Donald, with bad business and the way you run the country, the people that may have supported you a couple of years ago may turn on you. And they actually have a lot of power because they have tons of money. So I'd love Adam Silver to get into his lawyer shark mode and come at FBI and everything. Because seriously, the way that they talked about this yesterday, the FBI in their press conference is saying this round of arrests on the NBA, they make it sound like they're going to come back around and arrest more people in the next couple months and continue to try and put bad publicity on the league that we love. Now, are they going after the NFL? Are they going after the NHL or the MLB? No. And in some ways, once again, I'll tell you this. The NBA gets picked on more because it's a more predominantly visibly black league. And I'm telling you right now, white supremacists are in charge of the government in the United States right now. And if you're fooling yourself, if you don't think that this has something to do with targeting that one main major sports promotion out of all of them, you're fooling yourself, and the timing of it and everything. There's a strong contingency of people that are anti-NBA. And part of it is because of Black Lives Matter. Part of it is because of the political stances that the NBA has held, celebrating Martin Luther King Day, all that kind of shit. Racists hate that shit, and racists are in charge. So open your eyes and understand that the publicity yesterday unleashed by Kash Patel and the FBI is insidious. It's very much targeted on that time frame. They could have done this shit a month ago, maybe, before the season even started. Think about the timing. Think about it with your head straight through the lines and understand. Look through it all, and you can see what I'm saying. They want to come and get more people. I'm telling you right now, they said this is this round of arrests. They are going to investigate more, and they're going to keep trying to come at them. What do you think Adam Silver's going to do? He's going to bow up, elbows up, and he's going to say, fuck y'all. I'm protecting this league because this is my job. I used to protect Disney. I still protect Disney to a degree because they're a partner. I have a lot of big clients and corporations I work with. And if you want to anger us, well, you may find the extent of your power, just like with Jimmy Kimmel. You may push a little bit in the wrong direction. You may find that this is where your power ends, and you have no power at this point because the corporations own your ass ultimately still. So this is an interesting situation, and they don't need to be pushing Adam Silver around because they may find out real quick that Adam Silver is a Pokemon evolution of David Stern. Yeah, they may find out that at some point. Seriously. Yeah, I had to do the latest lineup, the ref report, and my little freak out on the FBI activities this week. I believe I am exactly with Stephen A. Smith on this. His opinions on this shit are on point. He's exactly right. The timing of this shit is so fishy, And it's like they're trying to come at the NBA and fuck up their publicity right at the beginning of their season. Yeah, they may find out some stuff doing this shit. Yeah, Trevor J's first in. Commissioner Fun saying loyalty don't need rules, respect don't need reminders. Happy game day. Let's get this win tonight. Let's go, boys. Yeah, short and sweet. Loyalty don't need rules. That's interesting. I'm trying to think about that. I think loyalty is just very basic. You just, in some ways, loyalty goes hand in hand with respect. I've seen something recently. Chris Boucher posted on Instagram. He said he don't care about love. He cares about respect. And when he's going to date someone, sure, anybody can love somebody, but when you respect someone, that's more long lasting. And that's loyalty. You can love someone, but not be loyal to them and do stuff. And, that's not good. So it's like loyalty is an important thing. And I get that, but there's no rules. I don't know. In some ways, it's like loyalty to people decide the rules in their relationships, I would say, as far as what the loyalty and the rules are. Respect don't need reminder. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is interesting. Words of wisdom. I appreciate you, Trevor J. Blessings to the Jones family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. That's right. So, yeah, I'm pretty positive Colin's going to play from the language that was spoken at OVO Center yesterday. That the reporters, Darko and Colin, all talking like he's making his debut. He's like, they were saying, I think it was Chelsea that said to Colin, are you excited about making your debut for the Raptors? He's like, man, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for tomorrow. They're basically saying he's going to play tonight. So he's day to day on the injury list, but Colin Murray-Boyles is going to play tonight. And part of it is they really want to play him against Giannis. They really, really want to. So that I'm totally telling you guys, once again, I'll stake my reputation that Colin's playing tonight. James was asking me the other day, is he going to play or not? There you go. He's going to play. That's right. James is saying that SGA scored 55 points against Indiana. That's pretty good. There's been some pretty high scoring games by stars in the first couple nights of the NBA. Fantastic stuff. Wemby got 40. We got Luka getting a high score. There's been some good high scoring by individuals so far this season for sure. Yeah, and I seen that the Thunder did beat the Pacers at the end of that, but kudos to Siakam and Mathurin for playing their asses off for the Pacers. That rematch from the finals, they wanted to come get them. But yeah, the Thunder are very good. They're very, very good. That's an exciting game, I heard. Kaz is here. Good morning, Kaz. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freak crew. My prediction is CMB will play tonight. Yeah. It's just that the tells are in the speech patterns and what they said. And Darko very much saying he wants to play him against Giannis. He's going to play him. It's not like Collins wanting to sit out. He relishes this. He's really enjoying getting thrown in the fire in the deep end against the very best in the NBA. Nikola Jokic, Giannis. These are MVPs, Colin. And you have not even played in the NBA. You're going to come in and play against MVP tonight, and you got to shut him down. You got to annoy the hell out of him like you annoyed Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett all summer in practice. You got to go out there and show the world in your rookie debut the extremely good talents of defense that you have, Murray-Boyles. I'm so looking forward to it. I want to see you embarrass Giannis at some point tonight with a strip or a steal or even a block. Yeah, I want to see that tonight. I know CMB is good for that. He is good for that. And I see that happening. That's right. Super fan Monique Lawrence is here, the greatest. We love you, Mo. She's heading to the game tonight. She's got to get down there early. I'm telling you, Mo, don't dilly-dally. Get down there real early because that game is so early. 6:30. It's crazy. And I hope that people can get away from work on time to get down there. And there's going to be extra traffic down there because of World Series buzz, because of World Series graphics put on the Rogers Center field out there. In fact, I'm going to switch the hat in a second. So I'm going to talk about it. We're going to switch the hat in a second, Mr. Rogers. That's right. Happy game day. Happy home opener, Raptor Free crew. Let's go, Raptors. She's so happy. This is the time of year that's more like December 25th for Miss Lawrence than any other day. Is season opener, going down the arena, getting back to seeing her friends, the ushers, and all the staff at the Scotiabank Arena. Everybody's happy to see Mo because they know it's Raptor season. And she is so on cloud nine to get down there and be in the place that she belongs. Her favorite place in the world, my favorite place in the world, the Scotiabank Arena, where the Toronto Raptors play all their home games. And this is just, it's just the best. TGIF, Monique. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Jays. Let's win tonight, Toronto. That's what I'm all about. Let's go. Trevor's saying Warriors went to overtime to beat the Nuggets. Steph Curry, 42 points. Jokic with a triple-double. And I heard that Aaron Gordon got 50. Went crazy. Kurthika is going like, what did Aaron Gordon do this summer? What did he do? And the fans in her Blue Skies were saying he worked out in his living room. Because he does. He lives in a loft. Aaron Gordon lives in a loft, and he can just shoot the basketball in the middle of his big, huge loft in his living room. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's an epic game right there. You know what? The Warriors won. That's very, very interesting battle between the Nuggets and the Warriors last night. Some very good games so far this season. High-scoring games and high-level talent and very exciting games. Close games, too. That's the fun stuff there. Kareem Thomas is in the house. Our butt dialer is here. We might have to change our stance on Jonte Porter. FBI says that Jonte Porter was threatened to participate in the prop bets because of existing gambling debts. He was really in that shit with the mob. No, we knew this already, Kareem. We knew this already. Well, look, all right, I get what you're saying. And, you know, as addicts, we understand alcoholism is a horrible thing. Addiction's a horrible thing. It'll make you do bad things. There's a lot of addiction in people's minds from the dopamine and online at this point. It's kind of crazy. You know, there's addiction with sports betting, and that's the issue here with Jonte. Jonte and his family have an addictive personalities, obviously, because they have alcohol problems and gambling problems. And well, Jonte is got the gambling problem and the dopamine hits and the getting too deep in it. Yeah, he got too deep in it. And they were threatening him. But still, he should never gone down that route in the first place. He thought he was strong enough to balance it all and still have an NBA career. He was a fool. Sure, we can feel bad for him because he's an addict and his addiction got him in the wrong place. But a drunk driver kills someone. That's the same shit, right? That's the same shit. And he broke the sanctity of the league. I'm not going to start feeling sorry for Jonte because he brought a bad reputation to our team with his bullshit. And honestly, he pissed me off because he should have been one of our centers right now. He should have been somebody that's on our team right now. But he totally screwed that up. So it's like I worry about what happens for the Raptors, not what happens for Jonte. In some ways, I get what you're saying. As an alcoholic, somebody who's in AA myself, you know, addiction will make you do fucked up things and mess up and destroy your life. And that's what happened to Jonte here. But the sad thing is we're in an era where nobody knows that or nobody's treating gambling addiction like alcoholism or like a huge, serious social problem. No, it's all businesses open, Bet Rivers and FanDuel. And you're fucking degenerates. You're making billions of dollars off of misery and addiction and ruining lives. At some point, we'll catch up on this and we'll be more progressive in fixing this. But for right now, business is open. And if you're an addict, be very careful. Don't get hooked on sports gambling. If you have a proclivity to get addicted to things, don't even pick up fucking FanDuel because that's what happened to Jonte. And that's why he sits in a federal prison right now. So, I mean, I can't feel sorry for him. Because in some ways, look, his family's so badass. His dad's such a great coach. Why the fuck wasn't he there to guide his children in the right way? Don't drink and drive, son. Don't gamble like this, son. You're an NBA player. You're going to be in the NBA soon. You're going to make a lot of money. You don't need to risk your whole entire career doing something stupid like this. You know, Adam Silver's an idiot. He showed up on the Pat McAfee show in the last day or so. And he's talking about the gambling is out of control and I'm trying to roll it back. It sounds like he let a genie out of the bottle that he didn't want to let out. And now he can't control it because he signed contracts with FanDuel and the big gambling sites. But he could change. If he could change it, he'd want to right now at this point. He realizes he fucked up. He's an idiot for fucking opening business like this. And he mentions a lot that, you know, the fans are threatening the players because of prop bets. At games, he talked about this. He said, we're going to have an increased security at all the arenas and that any fans that are coming at the players with threats because he's talking about how teams are winning, but individual fans aren't getting their bets on winning teams with winning players. And they're yelling at the players still, even in victory. So it's like it's out of hand. You know, if FanDuel and Bet Rivers don't want to amend how you do the bets, you need to tell them, fuck off. You're done then. In some ways, Adam Silver's like, I can't change this. It's not going to go away. But in some ways, I want to regulate it more. Well, you fucked up, man. You should have never opened this door and allowed this shit. You're going to cause so much social problems with your fucking dumbass money-making kind of idea. And honestly, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. People hate the gambling around it. They want it to go back. They feel like this is just a fucking distraction and it's full of shit. They hate the ads over and over again. And in some ways, people want it just to be the way it was. But it's too late. Did we let the genie out of the bottle, Adam Silver? He's saying on Pat McAfee, you can't do anything about it. It's over. It's probably not going to be able to go away. It's going to be here to stay. Well, at least have regulation, no individual prop betting, and that may fix everything. Do these degenerates really need to fucking gamble on Jonte's turnovers? I mean, seriously, stop the individual betting. People can bet on the teams. People can bet on the scores, maybe. Some of that shit. But the very minute, like specific shit, you give so much power to individual players on their own stat line to alter this thing. Hello, dummy. Fucking use logic. You can't allow this. You have a minefield of folly where anybody can cause problems. In some ways, his idea is to not allow gambling on G League level players because he feels like because they don't make enough money or they're going to make a little bit more, that they would be more likely to get involved in illegal gambling like Jonte Porter and do what they did because they don't make a lot. And that could be their way of getting more. I think you've got the little tip of it right. But you need to go forward on that. You shouldn't have anybody gambling on LeBron James's stat line either. Because seriously, you're going to put players in danger. You're going to put fans in knuckleheaded positions with addiction and dumbass decisions, maybe very, very poor decisions, especially as the economy of the United States continues to crash and people have more and more hard times feeding their children. They may try and do crazy shit like, I'm going to make a bunch of money off the NBA, honey. Don't worry. It's our life savings. And then the fucking kids have nothing to eat because dad's a degenerate and he didn't win. You know, this kind of shit, this kind of storyline is a lot more common than people think. And that's the thing that Adam Silver isn't saying out loud. So I'll defend Adam Silver when it comes to the FBI, but I won't defend him when it comes to FanDuel. And you fucking brought this on yourself, motherfucker. You're an idiot. And seriously, you need to change this fast in the regulations because there's just bad shit coming from it. There's nothing good from this. The only people that are benefiting off this is billion-dollar corporations. They're fucking making money off the top off people. There's already so many ways they're scamming everybody. So you just gave them another way through the NBA. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit, man. It's true. We knew all this information. They didn't tell us anything different about Jonte. We knew that he was under pressure from the mob to continue. It's not even the mob, though. Don't even call it the mob. It's not the mob. It's a bunch of jabronis from New Jersey that are just in a Reddit group with him that talk trash. And some of them threatened him. And Jonte's an idiot. He's not a very smart person. They say, oh, we're going to come and get you with this. They probably didn't even know anybody. These guys weren't real organized crime people. These were crypto bros that hang out online and talk about things. And Jonte's an idiot. In some ways, he had NBA security around him. He was in another country. He's a fucking dumbass that he was so scared of them. He should have been like, no, fuck you. I'm not ruining my NBA career. Y'all can fuck off at this point and let the NBA security and tell the authorities and stop it there. No, Jonte's guilty, bro. He's not a victim. He could have had a couple different ways. He could have fixed things. He could have come and talked to Masai and said, Masai, I have a problem. I have a big, big, huge problem. Oh, Jonte, I'm glad you talked to me about this. In some ways, I could very much help you in ways I can with Adam Silver. You know, he could have done a couple different things different. So don't act like he's a victim. Superfan Mo saying CMB is questionable. Yeah, he's playing. He's playing. I've gone over this extensively. Those guys are saying it straight up. He's not even questionable at this point. He's day-to-day probable. That's what he is currently right now. I looked at it on ESPN this morning. I look at it every morning right away. I check it all the time. But they're playing him tonight. The plan is to have him guard Giannis. They want to see him guard Giannis. He's going to play tonight. Mo, I will stake my claim on my reputation. Colin Murray Boyles makes his Raptors debut tonight. That is happening. Trevor's saying Bobby Webster's interview this morning on TSN. He said players who will be favorite players, Ingram, Colin, Shed, and after the game, Scotiabank Arena will be open to watch the Blue Jays game. Yeah, we knew that. That's part of the whole thing. I mean, I like the love being shown to the Blue Jays. They're in the World Series. This is not a very often appearance. In some ways, that's very special. But I'm also kind of getting sick of the cross promotion. I mean, I don't mind having a lot of stuff for the Blue Jays in support for them. Like the logo right now on a lot of places for the Raptors official men says Toronto Blue Jays on it, or Let's Go Blue Jays around our logo. I see a graphic this morning with Scotty Barnes on it wearing a Blue Jays jersey, and the letters are in blue and red. And I'm like, I don't like this. I'm like, look, we have our own home opener tonight. And it's the Blue Jays are just happening to play a World Series game 1 on the same night. But this is special for us. It's our team, our game. That should have been in black and red. There shouldn't have been no blue involved in that graphic. And you can go and show support, show the clips of our guys, Grady and Scotty, in the jerseys saying, go Blue Jays, and do all that propaganda all over the place, Rogers. But when it comes to specific stuff like our home game, our stuff, don't fucking do this. If you can get away with it now, just because they're in the World Series. But I do not want to see so much cross promoting. I know that you and Keith Pelly are all about this, Ed Rogers. And in some ways, you love to take the platform of the Raptors social media and extensively huge fan base and promote your Blue Jays baseball team as much as possible. And in some ways, you have the right to do that. But in some ways, once again, fuck all that shit. We want Blue Jays straight up 100% non-diluted. I mean Raptors. We want Raptors 100% non-diluted. See, I'm even saying Blue Jays instead of Raptors. Y'all messing up my brain with too much cross promotion. So it's okay for now. But in some ways, I don't want to see this shit overdone next year. And when the Blue Jays in some ways are like just regular season or spring training. Nah, there's too much cross promotion is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, of course they're going to leave the arena open to watch the Blue Jays game. Some people are going to do this. They're going to go to the Raptors home opener. The Raptors home opener should probably get done around 8:30. And the first pitch for the Blue Jays is at 8:08 or something like that. So there's very likely some people will be able to just walk right down the street, go from the Raptors game and go right in the Blue Jays game and watch that too. Some people are going to do that tonight. Very much be able to stack the day with both games. And that's part of the reason why they moved our game to 6:30. I don't mind moving the game to 6:30. It's just very special. But in some ways, listen, don't make this a habit, Rogers. The cross promotion stuff is annoying otherwise. This is a special period. I'll allow it for right now. But in some ways, don't be trying to do this shit in April when the Blue Jays are in spring training or any other bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Trevor J saying free food and drinks, and you get to watch the game with the players. With the players? Yeah, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right to me. Maybe like one of the players, maybe Chucky's there or something like that. I'll bet you money that those players are going to run out of that building as soon as the Raptors game is over and get the fuck out of the area. Because honestly, the traffic's going to be so bad later on, especially if they intend to have all the Raptors crowd stay and watch the whole entire Blue Jays game in the arena. Well, that's kind of defeating the purpose of staggering the games apart to help traffic concerns. You're going to hold them in to watch it. Oh, stay and watch. And everybody in Rogers Center and everybody in Scotiabank will still get out at around 11:30 tonight. It's going to be chaos, y'all. It's going to be chaos. Let's go Blue Jays, though. Let's talk about it here. Yeah, let's go. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. There's 2 games tonight. Right in the same neighborhood tonight. I've always wanted to go to a doubleheader like this one. A home opener and a game 1 of the World Series is so fun. Let's make the most of this beautiful day. Maybe the Blue Jays will win. Hey, hey, could you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor, Rogers Center? Yes, you're my neighbor. And we have to stagger traffic tonight. And yeah, we're trying to be nice. We're in the same family, as people say. That's right. We're in the same family now because the Rogers is all over it. And Blue Jays are now in the MLSE family. Is that true? Rogers, do you consider the Toronto Blue Jays in Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment? I don't know if that's actually right. Like, are they actually in the MLSE? I wonder about that. All right, let's keep going. Fiercey is here. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Happy game day to you, Fiercey Soft Sarah. Good to see you, MJ. All right, let's see. I skipped ahead. Let me make sure I'm not missing any comments. All right, hang on. I did skip ahead. I missed some here. Let's see. We are on Kareem Thomas. Trevor, you're missing a huge player stat line from the Golden State and Nuggets game. Aaron Gordon. Yeah. I talked about that. Aaron Gordon getting 50 points. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. I think that the reason why Aaron Gordon did so well last night is Michael Porter Jr. is gone. Yeah. I think that he took a big slice of what Michael Porter Jr. would have done. Because I always thought that those two guys were too similar. And I always thought that they were kind of dumb on the same team. Yeah. And I think that that's why the Nuggets are better this year is because they traded Michael Porter Jr., the jabroni and the crime family of the Porters, and they got better role players in his roster salary space, and it fits better. Bruce Brown, Jonas, Tim Hardaway Jr. They got better players in that spot, and Aaron Gordon could do what Michael Porter Jr. does. They never needed Michael Porter Jr. He was kind of just like, he was too similar to me. So I think that that's part of the increase for Aaron Gordon, is that some of the stuff that Michael Porter would have done is not there, and Aaron Gordon just filled it in, and he increased his stats. I think that's what happened right there. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Trevor's saying, yes, Aaron Gordon. Yeah, saved your fantasy week, huh? Nako? Your fantasy week? Let me go look at that. Let's see what's going on in the Raptor Freak Fantasy League right now. I've got a slight lead over Jason Dukes, our original Raptor Freak NBA Fantasy Champion. It looks like Logical Raptors Fanatic is beating Bryce right now. Cool Cat is losing to Andrew. We've got Fiercey beating MK. That's a great matchup right there. The Battle of Ottawa over there, or a battle of over Eastern battle. Duppy Conquerors is getting beaten by the Load Managers. I think that's James. I believe that's James's team. Cream is losing to Gerald. It's very close. Kaz is losing to Amit, which is interesting because Kaz is such a dominant fantasy player. And then HC is beating Nins. And those are the matchups in the fantasy right now. That's right. So, Nako, you got a bit of an edge because of Aaron Gordon, huh? Yeah. Monique says, I want to blow out too, Lex. Come on, James. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we just want to blow out as long as it's on the Raptors side. We don't want the Milwaukee Bucks to blow us out, and I don't see that. The Raptors have to be that good. We got to beat Scott Foster and the Bucks tonight. But then again, the Bucks aren't that good, so we should be able to do this. And plus, we have home court, the home crowd. Come on down there and get loud for them. Show the love for the Raptors and show them the home court advantage. And in some ways, Raptors, when you're playing with Scott Foster and Rodney Mott out there, just play the right way. Those veteran refs are tough. And Scott Foster may do some screwy shit, Scott. We know this, Scotty Barnes. And you guys may need to just kind of play through it and just be above it and just be such badasses that you guys are so good, so much more talented that you just beat the Milwaukee Bucks' ass and you beat them by 15 to 20 anyway, even if Scott Foster tries to do some shady shit tonight. Seriously. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, why is it just Chauncey and a few African-Americans being indicted if the mafia is involved? Yeah, and why does it have to be so public like this? Why do they have to do this? Because they want distractions. They want all kinds of different bullshit out there in the news to distract from the fact that they have not sworn in a representative from the state of Arizona that would open the Trump files on Epstein right away. They have so many different reasons for this. They're trying to distract, and it's just their latest bullshit thing that they're distracting with, whether it's coming into cities with National Guard, whether it's fucking doing horrendous things to the White House, it's whatever. It's like, it's all distractions from the ultimate thing that will probably destroy Trump, and that's the Epstein files. It's just distractions. And in some ways, the NBA timing is so suspicious. And once again, the people that get targeted. Like the other one that I think that is kind of fucked up, and we talked about this in recent weeks, is the NBA retired players Medicaid scam. The medical scam, like Alan Anderson and other people we talked about recently that got in trouble for that. There's probably people scamming in different places all over the place. Like maybe there were people scamming in the MLB. Maybe there are people scamming in hockey. And it could very well be, once again, well, these guys are black guys from the NBA. Let's go ahead and crash down on them and get them for this. This justice is not equal. It is not colorblind. And we know this in traffic stops. So it's like, if you take and extrapolate that kind of behavior by law enforcement in the micro level of a traffic stop with people like Jacob Blake or whoever, and then you see a white person, how they get pulled over and all that stuff, you can understand how this applying punishment in these areas could be very racially biased. You can understand that if it's the same kind of people, the same kind of mentality that are in law enforcement, that are, on the down low white supremacists and bullshit like that. Yeah, why is it we're only seeing the black guys who got in trouble in the gambling being publicly outed like this? Why don't we know more about the mafia? Why don't we know more about the people involved in it in this way? It's very fishy. And I mean, listen, some people say, oh, Lex, you play the race card too much. listen, I think that you need to talk about this because there's so much injustice in different ways about race throughout the history of time that people poo-pooing it. Oh, you make a race card, make race card. No, there's been seriously racial bias in all kinds of different areas throughout the history of America. It's just the damn truth. So I have these same questions as Shaq Lindsay right now. It's like, look, you got, and you even came after a coach. And not only that, you can make the connections between the city of Portland right now and what's happening with the National Guard with the coach of the Trailblazers. There's a Portland connection in this too, to a degree. So there's a lot of weird shit going on here right now. There's a lot of weird shit right now. Watch with your eyes open and Windhurst and discern this shit with critical thinking and think about it. Think about what I'm saying here on some of the stuff I'm saying here right now. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy game day. Good morning to you, MJ. Shaq saying this, why the fuss on the underground gambling schemes? Don't the FBI have their hands full on the Epstein file? Laugh out loud. Exactly. I mean, why don't they go do something more important? Why don't the government go back and from the shutdown and fix healthcare? Why don't they do their job that way? It's so fucked up and picking and choosing and bullshit. You know, it's so fucked up. That guy, Kash Patel, is not this is the crazy thing. They say they hate DEI. They hate people getting jobs that they don't deserve. Everybody who's in the government right now for Trump does not deserve their jobs and they're not qualified. They're absolutely hired because they're loyalists to him and they aren't good people at their jobs. Kash Patel has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He's never worked for the FBI until now. He's a podcaster. He's somebody who sat behind a mic like me and just talk bullshit and spread rumors and bullshit for MAGA for years. He's not somebody who should be in that job at all. The only reason why he's there is because he's a loyalist to Trump, and that's the only people he hires. And a lot of them are idiots. And this is the other thing that's really interesting. They're hiring people for ICE, and they're all overweight, and they can't do it right. It's hilarious. It's like they don't have good people on that side. They have idiots that are dumb. They're really, really stupid. Sheep that'll follow him, and he's so stupid. You have to be really stupid to follow him. And then they want to get all the racists and all these people to come and join ICE and stuff, but they're fat and they're out of shape and they can't even fucking do the job. It's pretty pathetic, man. MAGA world is so fucking pathetic right now. Seriously. But yeah, Kash Patel should not be in charge of the FBI. It's really messed up. It's really, really messed up. That's part of it right there. But yeah, they're really making it convoluted. They're bringing in the old cases and acting like they're new. And the press will misconstrue this to the public. And people will think, oh, the NBA has really horrible gambling problems, all kinds of this and that. And even people are saying, oh, the refs for sure are totally not on the up and up and all this kind of stuff. Donaghy, stuff like that. You know, Adam Silver hates this shit. He doesn't want bad publicity for the NBA. He doesn't want the NBA to be threatened in different ways like this. In some ways, he comes out with the right statement. He's saying, we will take this very, very seriously. We will investigate all this. And if there's real issues with this issue with Chauncey and Damon Jones and Terry Rozier, we will, do our part in complying with the justice system and doing what we need to do. But, Adam Silver is also going to be like, I'm seeing a pattern of you guys coming at me. In some ways, why didn't you come talk to me first, Kash Patel, before going to a fucking press conference and making such bad publicity for me on the opening week of my league? Why didn't you come and talk to me first? And maybe we could have handled this internally. We know Adam Silver don't like fucking people doing litigious shit like James Dolan did to the Raptors this past couple years with a frivolous lawsuit towards us. And James Dolan made it public. And Adam Silver was pissed because it's not a good look to see an NBA team suing another NBA team. And if he had his power over it, he would cover it all up. He would cover it all behind closed doors and take care of it internally. So he's probably pissed off at the government and the FBI and Kash Patel because they just put a whole fucking publicity black mark on the NBA yesterday. And, the NBA's had different eras where there has been publicity problems. In the 70s, there were huge problems with violence on the court with what happened with Kermit Washington and Rudy Tomjanovich. A lot of people got turned off from the game, also thinking there's cocaine problems. So the image of the league publicity-wise is very important to Adam Silver. And one of his jobs is to fight for the image to be protected. So he probably wanted a courtesy call from the government on what was happening and not to get it all thrown out there publicly in front of everybody's face like this. He would have probably liked Cash Patel to call him and say, look, let's deal with this internally, and I will do everything to help you guys. We don't need to get the press involved. But that's not what happened. So in some ways, that's why I say Adam Silver is probably fuming mad at the government right now. And if he's thinking that they may come back around and try and arrest more NBA individuals for different stuff related to this, he's going to be going elbows up. And we may very much see a titanic fight between the NBA and the government of the United States, guys. It could be very interesting, the possibilities that come from this, because at some point it becomes like money versus money. But who is really the big bad boy with all the money? Is it the fake ass MAGA horrible pieces of shit that aren't qualified for their jobs? Or is it the established huge corporations like the NBA, like Ford, like ABC, Disney, ESPN, like Amazon, who are in there at this point? I mean, at some point, Jeff Bezos is going to be like, Donald, you're ruining business in certain ways. People are boycotting Amazon, and you're hurting my business because you're such an idiot with your tariffs. At some point, big corporations will turn on Donald in more ways, and in some ways, they will do their part to take down the MAGA White House. So it's an interesting situation. And David Stern before was very protective of the NBA. And don't get it twisted. Adam Silver is too. And in some ways, shots were fired yesterday. Shots were fired. That's right. That's right. Milbester's saying this. Dodgers take game 1 over Blue Jays. What the fuck are you doing, man? Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. I'm going to put you on timeout. If you're going to come in here with this, Milbester, you're going in timeout. You're going in timeout. 5 minutes of timeout, Milbester. That's right. You're timed out for that. That's bullshit. Don't come in here with that garbage. Seriously. Neil's saying this. 2 things. We need to win tonight. Number 2, your coach will get fired when we beat them. I think that's a pretty good thing to have on your bingo card for the NBA season. The Raptors will beat a team and the coach will get fired the game after. Yeah, I can see that happen possibly this season again. Of course, a famous example of this is beating the Kings and then Luke Walton getting fired the next day. Yeah, there's been a couple of these kind of things that happened in the past. Good to see you, Neil. Sorry I didn't take your call. It's just today I want to go solo right now and just be the only voice for today because we got a lot to cover. And this topic about the FBI stuff is very important. It's important for the whole league. Nako saying, yeah, Giannis doesn't have a great team around him. What a terrible move trading for XR Dake was. What the fuck is that, Nako? What is that? That's not English. Move trading for XR Dake was. I don't know what that fucking word is. He's talking about Kuzma. But yeah, listen, I like this. The Milwaukee Bucks had their home opener against Washington, and Chris Middleton came back as a champion of the Bucks history, and he got a standing ovation. And the Bucks fans treated him way better than the team did in sending him to Washington. So I appreciate the love from Bucks Nation towards the veteran Chris Middleton, and showing adulation to him for his contributions to their franchise. He should have never left. He should be on y'all's team right now. What's the difference between having him in this lineup and those other streak shooters that are on the team right now? Y'all got sick of him. It's kind of like Bucks Nation, familiarity breeds contempt. And I think that y'all just got too familiar. Chris Middleton, you took him for granted. You were like, we could do better than having Chris Middleton. We've had him on this team forever. This is kind of fucked up, man. There's no loyalty in that. And in some ways, it's sad that y'all sent him to Washington. I think y'all would have been better if he was on your team right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think y'all would be better. I don't think Kyle Kuzma is a good player, and I think Chris Middleton's better than him. That's why I say that y'all's front office sucks, because that was a horrible move last year. I did not understand why y'all tried to get Kyle Kuzma. That guy's a loser. You cannot depend on him for jack shit. He's flaky and weird. He's a space case. That's a good name for him right there. Yeah, Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips in the chat this morning. Home opener, blessings, love, Raptor Freaks family. Leave your mark on this day by doing God's will for your life. This day was planned with you in mind. Fulfill your purpose with what you have. In some ways, for me personally, doing this show is exactly what Randolph just said. For me, my purpose right now, I know, is to do this channel. That my part in my life to contribute to society is to do this channel. I do this in service. I don't care about making a lot of money off this channel. I don't care about making fame from this channel. I do this because I have a passion for the Raptors and I have a passion to see them succeed. And, this is a passion project. And in some ways, this is a forum where I get a platform where people listen to me. And, there's the analysis of the NBA and the Raptors, but there's also life lessons. There's also political commentary. And there's also sharing of information that may be necessary and important in the times that we're in right now. I think that in some ways, my opinions may not be totally shared with everybody here, but it's also the opportunity for people to maybe hear some stuff and maybe open their eyes or open their mind to possibilities. Even if you don't think I'm right, I don't care if everybody believes what I say. It's just that if I say it and I get the opportunity to have the platform, then I feel like I'm doing part of what I'm supposed to do. And I really do feel like even if it's not the biggest audience, there is a butterfly effect that, information that I may put out on this channel may go in other places from you guys. Kaz may hear me say something and all of a sudden he says it later to his wife. And his wife is like, wow, that actually kind of is interesting what you just said. Yeah, Lex was talking about it this morning. And then she goes and talks about it at her book club or something. And then they talk about it there. It's really interesting how information can spread, not just social media wise, but just word of mouth like it always has. So I really do feel like in some ways I'm a catalyst for spreading new ideas for the new age, because one of my gifts and strengths is I can see patterns and see things coming in foresight. And with the world so tumultuous and crazy and not understanding exactly what the hell is going to be coming, this may be a very seriously good trait and gift that I have that I can share with you guys daily on this channel. So I don't mean to be egocentric, but in taking what Randolph's words of wisdom are, I'm showing you how if you have a particular thing that you're good at, use it in your life for the betterment of everybody. And mine is I want to share information. I want to share insight. I want to share my expertise on the Raptors, and I want to make people more informed. And that's what I'm talking about here. I appreciate Randolph Phillips. In some ways, he's doing his part by coming here and teaching me what he says in his words of wisdom. So blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Leave your mark on this day by doing God's will for your life. God created me with my skills and my human design. And if I don't use them, I'm not doing God's will. That's what I understand at this point. That's right. All right, Milbester, let me look at your message, even though you didn't start right on there. You didn't start right there. Lex, I'm lost on that NBA bet scandal with Billups and Rozier. They're not even related. Terry Rozier is a different thing. Jonte Porter is a different thing. Chauncey Billups is a different thing. They're not in cahoots. It's not one big ring. It's just they're taking all the little incidents and mashing them up to make it seem like there's a big epidemic in the NBA. And it's really, really not good. It's not good. Adam Silver's in full mode. Like, shit, you think he wants to go on Pat McAfee all of a sudden yesterday and that crazy ass show with Pat McAfee acting all stupid? No, he doesn't want to come on that show and have to put out fires publicly because Kash Patel did a press conference in the morning. So, yeah, this is a very interesting thing that's happened right now. It's very, very interesting. Fiercely saying, laughing at Nako, Gordon had a crazy game yesterday, but he got reintroduced to another great three-point shooter, Steph Curry. That's right. And that's who I have on my team. I got to enjoy Steph Curry's huge game last night. I had some good players last night. I think I only had 3 guys playing last night. And, well, the 3 players that I had playing last night were Steph Curry, Jamal Murray, and Benedict Mathurin. So that's a pretty good trio from the games last night to have out there. Steph and Benedict. Wow. Neil's saying defense will destroy the Bucks. Yeah, that's the thing. All right, we really want to get into the nuts and bolts of this. If they don't have a point guard, like they were running Kevin Porter Jr. at point guard, they're going to run Cole Anthony at point guard to start tonight. They don't have very many good point guards. Well, the strength of what we got is to dog the ball handler coming up the court. They may be susceptible to half-court traps and Shed and Shed and Murray Boyles and other people like that trapping at half court and making them cough the ball up. I want to make a prediction right now. Here's another one. I predict that Jamal Shed is going to get one of those 8-second calls at half court tonight. Yeah, I bet you that we're going to see that move where Jamal gets them to turn the ball over because they didn't get to half court in time to get across the court. I'm going to bet that that's happening tonight. I love it. I want to see it. That's right. Chris comes here. Good morning to Chris. Bucks are trash, besides cheating refs, Raptors should slap the crap out of them. I hope so. This is the thing. Darko is no mercy right now. In some ways, he's teaching these guys to terrorize the other team. He's like, I want you to make them feel uncomfortable. I want you to make them feel annoyed. And I don't want you to relent. You need to go and get in their personal space and make them not feel like they can do what they want to do on the court. That is a really big part of our defensive strategy, is to be disruptive, is to be uncomfortable for them. And, I think that when we meet teams that don't have the best ball handlers, like the Brooklyn Nets last week in preseason, and very likely like the Bucks tonight, we should be getting a lot of turnovers. In fact, that is once again going to be one of the most important things the Raptors do, is pressure and causing turnovers to derive offense and just to make the other team just have problems. I will also say this, a big part of the game tonight is getting to the 3-point shots. And, if I said the same thing on Wednesday against Atlanta, if the Raptors can win the 3-point shootout, that'd be great. We didn't totally win it against Atlanta. They did shoot more threes and make more threes than us, but it was close. It was only a couple off. We can't afford to let Milwaukee get like double 3 points made than us. So as long as we keep pace with 3-pointers made with the Bucks, we should be fine in this game, because I could see us dominating inside. So the only way that they'll get more points than us is if they're outscoring us from outside, because their personnel does have some shooters. But once again, they're streak shooters. And Gary Trent Jr. is a very good example of that kind of streak shooter that we know about. So, yeah, I'm with you on this, Criscom. I like your prediction. We should be beating the crap out of them tonight. That's right. Fierce is saying Darko is so privileged to have our team. The roster construction is solid, and he has so many pieces to work with. Kudos to Masai and Bobby. That's right. Always a great thank you to the great Masai Ujiri. We love you, Masai, forever. That's right. Fuck you, Ed Rogers III, for firing Masai Ujiri and dismissing him unjustly. In some ways, it's like, look, why would you pay him this year for the year and you're not going to use his services? It's so stupid. Either way, yes, Darko is lucky to have a very stacked team. And, some people in social media spaces are saying they're too stacked. They need to trade some of their guys. Those are our opponents. Those are people that don't like us being so talented. And they're crying for us to trade more players away because we're too good. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Nako's saying Steph was the best player at Nuggets versus Warriors 100%. Well, that is Chef Curry. And we do know that he has a long, long history in this NBA of doing what he does. That's right. Monique saying it's officially 11 years for me with the Raptors today. Really? I thought you'd been with the Raptors longer than that. Only 11 years, Mo? Seriously? Well, I've been with them for 31 years. I'm like, what's going on here, Mo? You're a day oneer. Come on now. Why would you say it's only been 11? It's been 11 years that you cover it like you do. Is that what it is? Okay. I'm confused because I thought you're a day oneer just like me right from the start. Yeah, I mean, I remember watching the Raptors the first year of their existence. I went to a game that season. I mean, I wasn't in Toronto when they had their first tip-off. I was in Florida, but I kept track of them very closely right from the start. Wow, Mo. Well, congratulations on 11 years. That's awesome. That's awesome. Neil's saying this. Lopez is cooked. He couldn't help the Bucks either. We're coming for your antlers, Bucks. Lopez is now the backup center on the Clippers, and he's on the old age team, and they're going to run circles around them. If this is a play hard league where all the other teams are putting a lot of kinetics on the court, the Clippers are going to get left behind because they're not going to play hard. They're not going to run around like everybody else, and they're old as hell. They're going to be playing the old style of the NBA. Meanwhile, all these younger teams like the Thunder, the Pacers, and the Raptors going to be running circles around them because that's the new league. Yeah, we're going to see this to an extent with the older teams in California. And I say that those older teams are the Clippers, the Warriors, and the Lakers. Now, the Warriors, they're going to have to figure it out. They're a harder working team than the Clippers and the Lakers. The LA teams are going to have it worse. Trust me. They're going to have it worse. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Jack Lindsay's saying, isn't there a government shutdown? Why is the FBI still working? Why aren't they being laid off? Yeah, it's pick and choose bullshit. Everything about the government in the United States is pick and choose favoritism and hypocrisy. It's like, don't do as I say, or don't do as I do as I say. And I'll break all the rules and tell you all have to follow them. That's what I say right now. And I've said that this week. If the government is unjust and criminal, then everything is criminal in your society. You don't have a rule of law and order because everything he's doing is breaking laws in different places. Like he's not paying attention to the protocol for how to remodel the White House because he doesn't feel like he has to do that. He's not paying attention to any of the agreements, the treaties, and things that internationally the United States has agreed to. He's not playing by any of the rules. So I say this: if he's not going to represent people, like they said before, no taxation without representation. If he's not going to, that's why I say even with Doug Ford here in Ontario, I don't believe he stands for us. So in some ways, we shouldn't be paying our taxes because motherfucker is just making decisions for himself with Therme and all this bullshit. That's what I say. Americans, if your government is not representing you, why the fuck are you paying taxes? Why the fuck are you going to your job? You guys need to shut down and go on general strike and just reset everything. You need to kick them out. But seriously, if you have a criminal in charge, there's no law and order all the way through. And honestly, people, I can't fault anybody for being a criminal in the States right now because their leadership is criminal. And that's just how it is. I mean, you should go to jail for your crimes, right? But in some ways, people are blowing up congressmen's houses and trying to shoot judges and stuff like that in the States. Yeah, it's a lawlessness. It's a new era of Wild West, just like fucking cowboys out there a long time ago. It's just a modern world with social media and all kinds of shit like drones and fucking fascist bullshit. Yeah, this is not good. But there is really a Wild West going on in the United States right now because there's no order. There's no order. It's chaos because you have criminals running the country. And, seriously, they're going to pick and choose what they shut down and they don't, who they're going to pay and they're not. They're really fucked up right now. There's no justice in the United States right now. There's no justice. That's right. That's why I say this is bullshit. I say anything that the FBI is doing right now is bullshit because it's usually like most of what they're doing, the Justice Department, Pam Bondi, the FBI is weaponized against the enemies of Donald Trump. And I guess maybe he doesn't like the NBA. I mean, most racists don't. Racist people that are KKK or just racist against black people, most of those people don't like the NBA. And in some ways, this is part of this energy that's coming at the NBA right now, just so you know. Fiercely saying, I also want blowouts, but put our team on notice as many slept on us. Glad some content creators are finally showing us love and acknowledging how much of a threat we are. Yeah, I don't want blowouts against us. The way you wrote that, it was kind of thing. I want blowouts to put our team on notice. I don't want us to get blowed out so that we have to be on notice. No, we need to beat other teams so that we get the notice from the rest of the league. I think that's what you meant to say, but it read wrong in some ways. Trevor came to the Discord yesterday with a content from the Celtics channel of content creators, somebody like me, but they cover the Celtics. And it's crazy because they're actually very much saying the Raptors may be one of the best teams in the East. So we got Celtics Nation opening up their eyes and saying, wow, the Raptors are really good after the first game against the Hawks, and they may be a real problem this year. That's right. I like that. Fiercely saying this. Even Kendrick Perkins says my Raptors. Yeah, I'm not totally comfortable with that. I mean, he has kind of been consistently fair to the Raptors, and he has more often said positive things about the Raptors. So if he wants to be a Raptor fan, he wants to call them my Raptors, Kendrick Perkins, you go ahead. I appreciate you speaking us up. How about that? That's right. No, Wanaka is here. Good ref report. Yeah, no problem, man. That's one of the great and unique things that I do on this channel is, I know there's a lot of Raptors content out there, but I do have specific things about how I do things, and that's to stay positive and root for the team in a non-toxic way as far as we are for our team winning, and we're not doing this bullshit second guessing or trade machine bullshit talk all the time. We're talking about where we're going and the direction we're going, and we're getting there more faster that way without all the unnecessary prattle about this or toxic kind of stuff you see in social media around Raptors fan nation. Nah. And then, yeah, there's some little things like, the ref report that are, kind of really what I do. I don't know if anybody else does anything like the ref report around Raptors fan nation or in media. So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Kaz is saying, I can't wait to watch Gary try and guard BI. I don't know if that's the matchup that will end up being on the court, Kaz. I think it's likely, who's Giannis going to guard? Giannis could guard Brandon. They could very much do that because they may actually think, Doc Rivers probably will think, yeah, Brandon's the best player for scoring on the other side. And in some ways, we could put Giannis on Scotty just to slow him down, but it's more likely that we need Giannis on Brandon. So I'll bet you in some ways they might put Giannis on him. They might put Giannis on him. And then we might see like a big on I don't know. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. I think that Doc Rivers doesn't have a very big team this year. And that in some ways, Miles Turner's going to play Jakob. Who's going to play Scotty then? Is Giannis going to be on Scotty? Who's going to, it's a nightmare trying to figure out who's going to guard RJ. It's more likely that Gary's guarding RJ. Let's just put it that way. It's more likely that Gary's going to be guarding RJ. Or maybe even they put Gary on Emmanuel because or something. I don't know. It's more likely if they start Cole Anthony, it'll be Emmanuel on Cole Anthony, and then RJ will get Gary Trent. I think that's what's probably going to happen. Let's see. Kaz saying and guard RJ. Yeah, Green guard RJ. Oh, you think AJ Green will guard RJ? Maybe. I don't know. They have a problem with this. I think Kaz is illustrating that this could be a real dilemma for Doc Rivers and the Bucks, trying to figure out who's going to guard who in our starting five, because our starting five is just like that. That's pretty cool. Neil's saying this: we need to win 5 out of the next 9 games. Beating the Bucks will be great for us to do tonight. I think this is one of the easiest games to start the season for us. I thought that the game against Atlanta was harder than this game tonight. When I was looking at the games coming up, I think that this Milwaukee game is the easiest game out of the 6 games we're going to play in October. The 3 games against Texas teams are tougher. Dallas is a little bit tougher. Cleveland on Halloween, an in-season tournament game in Cleveland, that's tougher. In Atlanta on home opener, yeah, that was tougher. This is the easiest game of October, guys. The one tonight, the home opener against Giannis, and really it's just the Giannis show. That's it. We do need to win this one, Neil. You're right, man. You're right. Fiercely saying this: the NBA can send Foster and whichever refs. It'll be the same result as the game against the Hawks. I agree with you. At some point, the refs will stop calling fouls and we dominate the game. Either way, look, that's why we have to be that much better, guys. And that's why people may say, oh, you overvalue the Raptors and who they are. No, I have to understand that like we're at a detriment right from the start as being the Toronto team. And that means that we have to be extra on everything. In some ways, we can't have any issues with any kind of knuckleheads on our team because we can't afford to have somebody kicked off our team all of a sudden like Jonte Porter. It's tough when we deal with things like Shamshe and Koloko because, we want to get everything, all best things because we have to be at the top level to compete in this league because we're at a detriment. So that's why I say it's like, look, the overly talented Raptor team, no, we need this talent just to go in and have a fair shot against some of the odds we may be going against, like Scott Foster tonight. So, yeah, if it turns into an 8-5 game, I still have confidence the Raptors will beat the Bucks tonight because they did it on Wednesday against the Hawks when the referees very much were helping the Hawks in the second half. For sure. That's right. Nako's saying this: NBC's getting better with their coverage. Hiring Kenny Beecham is pretty great. Dude's open to the Raptors. All right, you can't say this statement, Nako, because there's no track record of them getting better because they just showed up again. You can't say this, Nako. You can't say they're getting better because they just debuted for the first time in like 25 years. The NBA on NBC was way back in 2001, 2002, then it went away. So you can't say that they've gotten better. You could say maybe the coverage of the NBA has gotten better because NBC showed up again, but you can't say that NBC is getting better. Because NBC is just coming back and setting the tone of what they are again right now. There's no track record of them in the last few years. They're debuting again this season, and they haven't been around. Kenny being hired by them, okay. I think, he's like a podcaster like me, right? And, some of his takes are out of pocket, honestly. But if he's being fair to the Raptors, once again, I appreciate that. But, yeah, you can't say they got better with their coverage. They just started their coverage again just now. Kez is saying facts. MJ, we're going to build a defensive rep similar to OKC where the refs can't call everything. Well, that is part of the strategy. And Nick Nurse used this too when he was our coach, is they can't call every foul. So play all out and play aggressive. And, at some point they won't, because part of it is, like I said the other day, if they call too many fouls, it slows the game down so much and extends the time of the game. And once again, these guys are thinking about money, advertising, television schedules, and the referees very much think about how fast the game is going and what the time it's going to land for when it's done. And if they overly call too many fouls the whole entire game, it slows the game down and it makes the game time go so far past like 2 hours to 2.5 hours. So they can have to limit at some point how many fouls they call just because they have to think about the duration of the entire game. Seriously, that's why at the beginning of the game against Atlanta, you saw a flurry of tons of fouls called right away. But then at a certain point, Sean Wright and Brett Bernecki and Natalie Sago had to limit the calls because we're going to be here all night if they do that. So that's why the red light, green light game happened to an extent, is they're worried about the duration of the game. Because in the past, the game could be 3 hours. NBA games used to be 3 hours when I was a kid. Yeah. They used to be 3 hours. They've cut down the length of NBA games without taking the time away by streamlining a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it was they cut down the length of halftime. Halftime used to be a lot longer, guys. It was a lot longer. Now it's only like 10 minutes or something like that. It used to be 20 minutes. So they've taken a lot of streamlining and in some ways limiting foul calls and putting people on the line is a way to limit the duration of the game. And that's why they can't call every foul. They can't call every foul. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Saying this, that Billups stuff is crazy if it's true. A front man to bring in high rollers to gamble for an operation run by the mob. Now, this is the thing. He's connected to Gilbert for this. And Gilbert, there was some noise about this in the middle of summer. I heard it. And I remember hearing it, that Gilbert Arenas was in trouble with a gambling sting. And apparently Gilbert rolled on everybody. That's part of the reason why this shit is happening. Gilbert basically came on his podcast in this week and said he's a snitch. He's an idiot. This just proves how dumb he is. He just basically went on public podcasts and said, yeah, guys, you won't see me in jail. I snitched on them all. He snitched on the mob. And he just publicly put that out on podcasts. That just shows you the low IQ idiot that Gilbert Arenas is. He just put his life in danger for no reason. Seriously, he didn't have to say that or publicly come out there. He's like bragging about it. What a dumbass. Seriously, stupid guy. But yeah, he's connected to the Chauncey stuff. And apparently it's like I said, it was a facility that they had like high stakes poker games. And they had things like cameras in the table. And they had a whole racket for just bilking really rich people out of their money. They weren't going to win at those poker tables no matter what. They gamed it. And does this sound like sports betting, gambling problems? No, this is a whole other area of kind of mobster gambling poker parties. And it has nothing to do with betting prop bets on the NBA. But with all the media yesterday, you'd think that it is connected to that because there's a lot of misinformation and they want to blur it all. And if somebody's lazy and they just want to see the headlines, oh, there's just rampant gambling problems in the NBA. That's not actually totally true. And in some ways, I would actually support Adam Silver for scapegoating some people and getting them the fuck out and saying this problem isn't a problem anymore, just like he did with Donaghy, just like he did with Jonte. You know, in some ways, it's like he has to say this is isolated incidents. The integrity of the sport is fine. And we've gotten all the guilty parties out. You know, he has to be able to do that at some point. But if the FBI is going to keep coming at the NBA and they go look for every little piddly bullshit, like who knows? Some player could have just some dumb mix up and they're getting indicted all of a sudden. But it's not even like they did anything because I'm telling you right now, players on the Raptors are not going anywhere near any sports gambling at this point. They probably weren't anyway. But Jonte opened that door of suspicion. And in some ways, you know, this kind of stuff, I'm wondering if they're actually like really watching the whole entire NBA, the FBI. What kind of resources is this? That like, oh, we're going to watch the whole entire NBA. Man, there's so many different things the NBA, the U.S. government could be doing better with their time, energy, and money. Seriously. So much better things they could be doing, man. So much better things. Yeah. Smooth saying this. How do you fuck up your life like that? Your family's life? Yeah, I don't know. Chauncey's an arrogant guy. In some ways, you know, the Mr. Big Shot, you know, the allegations about what him and some people did way back with the gang rape, which was unfounded, first of all. That was not actually found to be true. But it did really sully his reputation. And that we kind of made it kind of look like, you know, in some ways, it's like, was Chauncey a unsavory person? But he kind of rode through that and got through that. And, you know, he's in the Hall of Fame. He's a champion with the Pistons. He's been the coach of the Trailblazers for a few years now. And this doesn't look good. And in some ways, his name is completely tarnished now. You know, getting arrested by the FBI like this, his reputation, everything's tarnished. And you think about last year, Vince Carter's Hall of Fame ceremony and him standing there with Tracy and Vince and saying, hey, look what could have been. We could have all been Raptors together. Yeah, I'm glad you weren't a Raptor on our team, especially if these allegations are true about your gambling parties. And, I'm so glad you aren't more of a Raptor. Sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to as far as things. And yeah, Chauncey, a one and done year with the Raptors, it's very forgettable. Thank God is what I'll say to that. Thank God at that. Yeah. Lindsay's saying, with all this being said, the negative publicity puts a black eye on the NBA. Adam needs to be strong and call it as it is. Fake news. It's not necessarily fake news. It's overblown. Let's put a spotlight on this stuff. And like you said, it's a distraction. They want more and more different stuff going on all over the place to keep the name Epstein out of people's mouths and just to kind of distract from some of the really horrendous policy that Project 2025 is being implemented in the United States right now. So there's a lot to this. And Jack Lindsay's on it. He understands what I understand. That's right. Trevor J saying November 1st, if you're not in the U.S., you will be locked out border and air shut down temporarily. Resident citizens or not will not be allowed back in for security purposes. Okay, I don't understand what that's about. Either way, I don't care. I live in Canada, thank God. If I still lived in the United States right now, I would be very quickly coming back to Canada anyway. But I'm just glad I saw this. This was when Obama was president. I was like, man, I'm going back to Canada. The United States is fucked. And that was over 10 years ago. I think I came back to Canada in 2014. And I'm so glad I've been back for over 10 years. Because honestly, I knew the United States was just a problem waiting to happen, like what's come to now. And I'm just glad I had the foresight to get the fuck out of that country when I did 10 years ago. So I feel very great that I live in Canada. Thank God. And Canada stay strong. Never the 51st state. And Carney, don't cozy up with him so much. Now they're saying that he's cut off all trade talks with Canada this morning because he didn't like an ad we ran on TV or some bullshit like that. Whatever, man. King Trump, you fucker. No kings, bitch. You orange piece of shit, Cheeto motherfucker. That's what I say right there. Yeah. I don't understand what you're saying, Trevor. They're going to close the border at November 1st. Whatever. I'm not trying to go down there. If any Canadians are trying to go to the States for the winter, fuck you guys too for going down there and supporting that country. Go somewhere else. Go to Mexico. Go to Europe. Go somewhere else. There's so many other places you can go. You do not need to go to Florida. Seriously. Seriously. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying, I'm hoping Scott Foster will take a chill pill. He's allegedly on the radar as well with the gambling stuff. Well, he should be. He should be. Out of all the people involved in the NBA, he's probably the person that's been scrutinized the most. And well, in some ways, that is a testament that he must be clean if he's gotten away this long. You know, in some ways, that's the one thing. And some people have said for Scott Foster in his defense, he's gotten so unfairly judged because of his association with Tim Donaghy. But I mean, look, it doesn't look good that he called him back and forth when he was doing all the gambling during halftime of games and at the end of games, Scott Foster. So it just looks really bad. And in some ways, I truly believe that there is anybody that has not been caught that is involved in anything. It may still be Scott Foster. It may still be him. Yeah. Yeah. Fiercely saying, great investigating FBI, calling us Toronto Rangers. No, I like that because I think maybe there's a legal precedent where a lawyer for us can say, we're not in trouble because you misidentified us. Who are the Toronto Rangers? Okay. Toronto Rangers, go ahead and get them in trouble. It's not us. We're the Raptors. So yeah, and once again, that statement wasn't we're in trouble. It's like all these people that make social media memes are making these cutout things as saying the teams that were mentioned or talked about are these teams. Like we have gambling problems. No, these are the teams that the people gambled on. It's not that there's an issue here in Toronto. It's not an issue in LA. It's not an issue for the teams that were mentioned. It's just that people are misconstruing it. And in some ways, that's part of the media blitz of bullshit and bad publicity is put out half-ass information and then people misconstrue it. They say, oh, the Raptors are being investigated for gambling again. Look at that. What a horrible organization. Jonte first and now this. No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying that Jonte gambled on the Raptors. And that's what all they're saying. It's like he's doing a rehash of all the gambling scandals in the last couple of years in the NBA. Because I'm serious. In some ways, they didn't really bring a whole lot that's new. The card games are new, and maybe some of the new allegations about Terry Rozier. But otherwise, this is all old news. And a lot of this shit has already been out there. And they want to grandstand and make a press conference about it. It's kind of fucked up if you really think about it all the way through. Seriously. Isaac's saying maybe Scott Foster will be arrested before the game. You know what, Isaac, I'm going to give you a dunk for that. I don't wish that for Scott Foster. Honestly, I do not. Because seriously, I want the integrity of the NBA to be defended. And I don't want to go further in this direction. I seriously don't. But Isaac, I will give you a dunk for making me laugh about the idea of Scott Foster getting arrested before the game. That would be messed up, man, honestly. I don't want that, seriously. But you made me laugh. Isaac's saying, it sounds like Gilbert Arenas gave up Billups in some kind of plea deal for the lesser charge. Yeah, that's basically what he said straight up. Seriously, that's messed up, man. Gilbert Arenas is such a piece of shit, man. In some ways, I'm like, dude, you lose so much credibility. First of all, snitches get stitches. Most people don't respect snitches, Gilbert. And honestly, for the rest of your life, people that don't respect snitches need to be coming at you and making it known that they don't respect you. Seriously. Seriously. There's nothing more despicable than a rat or a snitch. And the mob will tell you that. Yeah, they'll tell you that. So, Gilbert, you just put yourself out there. I'm a proud snitch. I'm so cool. I'm not going to jail because I'm a snitch. Let's see where that energy gets you in the next few years. Seriously. It's so stupid he did that, man. You're so dumb. Stargate, good to see you in the chat. Chris comes saying, speaking of elbows up, what do you think about Carney so far? It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag, and I knew it would be like this. His tendencies to be a corporate liberal piss me off, but he's better than Pierre, and that was the choices, right? We couldn't have Poilievre, so we had to have Carney because he is the alternate. And it's not that I wanted Carney totally. I would have preferred Jagmeet. I'm an NDP guy. I met in the middle with the Liberal Party as a middle ground between the PC. And, Carney is the right choice right now. His background in economics is huge, but I do not like how cozy he is with Trump right now. Some people will say he's buttering him up and just feeding his ego and making him feel good so that it'll help us. But I still feel like that's really stupid. You don't do that. And I don't like how he's fast-tracking development over environmental concerns. I agree there is a housing problem and we need more houses, but we need to build affordable housing. And if you have a good plan for that, Carney, I'll be happy. But I don't agree with deforestation and going in for the land minerals without working with the land protectors and the indigenous groups. So don't be trying to strong arm any kind of bullshit. And also, if there's any kind of changes with charter rights and our rights, whether it has to do with privacy or it has to do with anything online or things that have to do with protesting, don't mess with our charter rights as individuals here in Canada. The charter rights is a very important part of what makes us a free society, because there's dystopian kind of bullshit going on underneath with the corporations and data and AI and different things coming up. And in some ways, Canada does not, once again, need to be following the lead of the United States and doing anything that they're doing, whether it's privatizing healthcare or privatizing the postal service or any of this kind of shit. So even if U.S. goes full dystopia and there's all kinds of fucked up surveillance state bullshit with a lot more prisons. See, I don't like the idea that Carney wants to build more prisons, because that's a wrong sign for what's to come. I do not think that more people need to be put in prisons. That's the wrong idea. We need to rehabilitate and keep people free, because that is what life's supposed to be, is freedom. And, building mega prisons and for-profit prisons in the United States, we don't need to see that kind of shit up here, is what I would say. So let's be distinctly Canadian, clearly Canadian, and not in any kind of way taking ideas and policy or government from the United States, especially right now. So yeah, I'm a little wary of his coziness with Trump, but I think that it's part of the strategy too at the same time. I also don't like that he followed suit with Trump on taking back promised goods for Ukraine in their war. It's so fucked up. Trump did this whole switcheroo on Ukraine, saying we're going to give you these missiles, but Putin told him not to, and now he's saying I'm not going to give them to him. And it's really kind of fucking with Ukraine, because they were depending on this shit to help them defend themselves. And now Trump's trying to tell Ukraine that they should just give the Donbass region to the Russians. And this is illegally taken land that they took in the invasion. No, fuck that. You can't reward a dictator who came and invaded another country that was sovereign like that. And Trump is full of shit. He's absolutely got Putin's hand up his ass as a puppet. And that's the thing. We followed suit in some ways as a country. We declined on giving some armor to Ukraine all of a sudden. And I don't like that action. I don't like us mimicking the United States in policy in some ways with how we're helping Ukraine. That's no good. We need to help Ukraine. We need to help Ukraine. All right, there you go, Chris. I'm a little bit on the politics with Mark Carney there. Most of the stuff I like is with some of the stuff he's doing. I do really feel like the Canada Strong stuff and the endorsing more Canada industry and getting more Canadian jobs and helping our economy is really important. And I do agree with him increasing spending on defense. I really, really do. But he cannot get too much in bed with this bullshit down south. He really does need to make sure that we stay very cleanly apart from them. Very, very cleanly apart from them. That's right. Most saying, yes, got my rides figured out. Open gym, ASMR, laugh out loud. Okay, that's a funny one. See, I'd much rather talk about this than Carney. Is the ASMR drop by the Raptors yesterday apparently is a promo for Open Gym. And they're saying that Open Gym episodes will come every Saturday this year. And the promo was an ASMR thing where they're coming in and talking on the mic. Hi, I'm Jamal Shed, and this is Open Gym. You know, they're doing ASMR, and some of those guys have good voices for it, but it's hilarious. It was pretty funny. RJ's funny. Emmanuel's funny. Yeah, it's just a really cool little clip. It'll make you smile. So go see the Raptors Open Gym promo that's ASMR style. It's on social media places. Really good stuff. Thanks, Mo, for bringing that up. I'm going to give you a dunk for my cue cards because she does such a good job helping me get to the subjects that I know I want to cover. 120 on the dunk charts for a superfan Mo on opening day. The home opener. That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. Reggie's here. They probably thought they were above the law. It doesn't apply to them, the Porters. I don't understand it because, look, their dad is a coach. Their dad is like in charge of a lot of young people in their lives, and he's a good coach apparently. But at home, he's not taking care of his kids. The girls are okay. The daughters, they don't get in trouble, and they're good players. But the son's absolute batshit dumbass idiots. And some of it's low IQ. I mean, in some ways, Michael Porter Jr. talked about thinking like Andrew Tate and being a misogynist and like, oh, if a girl starts talking about women's rights, I definitely don't want to be with her. And I stopped talking to her. Why am I single? What a dumbass, Michael Porter Jr. No, I think they're just very low IQ individuals. And once again, they seem like they're MAGA people too. So that could tell you a lot about why they're idiots. And maybe they don't think laws apply to them. Right there. Right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Wow, jumped ahead. I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. Let's see. Here we are. Stargate saying this. Kendrick Perkins has been on the Raptors tips since the draft before anyone else down there. I give him props for that. Well, this is not new, not just since the draft. Kendrick Perkins has had a proclivity to look at the Raptors fairly pretty much since he's been in broadcasting. There's been other times, even back like around our championship, where Kendrick was very much seeing us ahead of other people. So I appreciate him for that. In some ways, he gives us a more fair, balanced view, an opinion than most of the people in the States. So I'll say that. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. Nako saying, is Square One showing the Blue Jays game? I have no idea. They're just, it'll be on TV. You can watch it wherever you want, man. But if you want to go to a viewing party, I'm sure there's all kinds of viewing parties all over the place. You know, one place you could go view the Blue Jays game, even if you don't have a ticket, is I think you can go to the Hard Rock Cafe in the arena. You go down there and like sit in the Hard Rock. It's going to be really hard to get parking, and you'll be in the mass of all the people. But I'll bet you it's pretty fun to sit in the restaurant and watch the World Series in there. Or maybe even just get a hotel room, Nako. Go down and get a hotel room in the Skydome Hotel and watch the game from up there. You know, some people be watching from their balconies in their condo next with if the dome's open. I don't think it'll be open tonight, so maybe they won't be doing that. Trevor J saying that's what Bobby said. You got to watch a game with the players. That's his words, not mine. Well, I'll bet you it's like two players, and they're like end of the bench players. I doubt the Raptors are going to hang out there and watch the whole thing. They're going to go home. In fact, they might actually need to get a plane because they got to get to Texas. So, yeah, Bobby can say that, and it may be like they're watching with Elijah Martin or something like that. Hey, Elijah Martin's here to watch the game with you guys, and all the rest of the big players have gone home. I think that's more likely right there. Isaac's saying the Rangers. We the North Rangers? Okay. Alternate name, it's so stupid. Some people want to change it, the Rangers. Like, no, we're the Raptors. Have some pride. Come on now. Wayne's saying this. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. On paper, the Bucks seem to be a better team. Different matchups should give Raptors a different challenge. Eager to see Darko's approach. Sweet. You think on paper the Bucks are a better team from last year, or are you saying than us? You may have to qualify that. Are you saying that they're a better team than they were last year? That's wrong. They are not a better team than they were last year. If you're saying they're a better team than us on paper, that's wrong too. I don't understand why you would say that on paper the Bucks seem to be the better team. No way. They are not the better team than us. We are the better team. We have a way better starting five, and we have deeper bench too. So I can't agree with that, Wayne. All due respect, I can't. Let's see. Smooth saying Emmanuel Clace, the Cleveland closer, is likely gone from MLB for gambling as well. Lifetime ban. Yeah, is the FBI going to show up and have a huge press conference and go all over all this the cable news networks like they did yesterday morning to the MLB? Are they going to come and shine all this shit on them in the middle of the World Series? No. And that's why I'm saying there's a difference here. Seriously, they could make a big grandstanding show if they want to go bust people. I bet you there's people in the NFL that have done gambling, but in some ways they don't want to come at the NFL. I'm telling you, this is fishy as fuck. I'm telling you, man. Adam Silver deserves it. Hopefully this wakes him up. I agree with you to an extent. Adam Silver, you brought this gambling shit upon you, and you do deserve this to an extent. But hopefully, he sounds like he regrets it. Like in that interview with Pat McAfee, it sounds like he regrets opening up this bullshit, and he should have never done it. He really should have never done it. And some changes are going to have to be made. Individual prop betting needs to go away. I'll tell you that right now. You can bet on teams, you can bet on scores, but you're not betting on individuals anymore, including LeBron all the way down to the worst player in the league. I'm telling you right now. G's saying a former mobster was interviewed, and he said this has been going on for 30 years. They gamble not for the money, but because they're so competitive, addicted to competition. So they're saying that the poker games have been going on for 30 years or the gambling on the NBA. Well, we know Tim Donaghy's story about the mob and how they have people on the inside like he was. So, yeah, Scott Foster's probably the dude on the inside for the mob still. And we get to see him tonight at the Raptors game. So, yeah, addicted to the competition. Well, it was all underground. And in some ways they could do it. But, the internet and social media and things like that change things. And the technology changed. In some ways, things going more digital may have made it worse for illegal gambling to stay hidden. Wayne's saying this. ICE director was caught on an FBI sting taking $50,000 bribe and was under investigation. The case got dropped by the current DOJ administration, just the U.S. government of criminals. Yep. There's no rhyme or reason. It's all criminals. And they're making up charges against innocent people to try and jail them also. Whether it's the lady who tried to make a case against them in the New York courts, getting a charge for having a vacation home and all kinds of bullshit. There's a lot of this. That's what's going after Comey and John Bolton. John Bolton used to be somebody who was with Trump, but he turned on him, and Trump is using the government to come after his opponents. This is Putin's playbook. Putin did the same shit in Russia. Everybody who opposes him, everybody who was his enemy, he's gone after them and jailed them and put them in jail. And they poison people too. They take some people and throw them out of buildings. That's the Russian way. That's where the United States is moving towards oligarchy, like fucking Vladimir Putin has set up over Russia. That's why the United States people need to get in the streets and fight the oligarchy, fight the kings, that mentality, and fucking take their democracy back. Because Donald Trump's playbook is Putin's playbook. And every single thing he's doing to the United States is something that Putin would do. And that's why the tariffs and the trade war with us is an overture that they may actually, if he is allowed to continue and persist in power, and this is part of the reason why we want the American people to take it back, he will invade Canada at some point, just like Putin invaded Ukraine. And I don't want to speak this into existence. I want to head this off as soon as possible. And that's why I want Americans to come clear with their conscience and understand you're dealing with an American Putin right now. And y'all need to understand that everything that Vladimir Putin would do over in his side of the world, Trump will do on this side of the world now. And you need to fucking fight him and get him the fuck out. And in some ways, a general strike is the next best move for you guys. The protests are great. The show of solidarity is encouraging, but y'all need to go off the job, offline. We did shit in the pandemic. We've seen how powerful that can be. If y'all do this, you can make everything come to a standstill and bring them to their knees. You have to do it this way. If everybody just walks off the job, if everybody doesn't go to work, they can't all get in trouble. Y'all can't all get fired. You can take yourself out of the whole system. This is your best fighting option right now. And even I would say Canadians up here, if you're not happy with things and you want to help out, you take yourself out of the system too economically. Whether you're not spending money, whether you're not going to work, whether you're not doing anything like that. This kind of shit really hurt them. We saw in the pandemic, when business is not open for business, the corporations get pissed and they want everybody to get agitated to go back out. So realize the power of the collective is a mass strike, is a general strike, and everybody not going to work on Monday morning next week. And that'll get things going in the right direction. That's where your power lies, Americans. You can't just go out for a Saturday and have smiles and laughs and have fun. You need to make it hard on them. And that means taking yourself out of the economy and not being a driver for commerce and not allowing the profits and the money to go any places because you're out for right now. You are stopped. And we did this in the pandemic. We can do it again. That's the best option right now to try and fix this shit. I'm telling you right now, man. Yeah, Nako's saying what a terrible move trading for Dame was. Yeah, there's a lot of really bad moves. Like Phoenix getting Kevin Durant was a horrible move now. They totally sold their future out to try and get something with Kevin Durant that was a fool's gold. And now Houston's going to get it the same kind of way. Fool's gold. Fool's gold. That's right. Your spell check took a day off. Okay. Maybe they're on general strike. Your spell check's on general strike. Kaloy saying morning, Lex, and everyone. Good morning to you, Kaloy. G saying, as much as the timing is suspect, what did the NBA expect by pushing gambling? Player props is the worst thing that could have been legalized. Even innocent players, when injured, will have to worry. Yeah. It's really like they have so much pressure and things going on. You know, we're seeing ugliness in the World Series where people are coming at Little's family, people coming at different people's families in just really out-of-pocket ways. You know, fans have more access to the athletes in different ways than ever. And it's not a good thing. Seriously, it's not a good thing. And if I was players, I would be cutting myself off in all kinds of ways. Kayla Gray doing an interview on The Shift with Jonathan Mobo this week, and it came out yesterday, and asking him, why do you think of the fans criticizing you or talking to you about your game? And Jonathan's just so positive. He said, I love the fans. They're so appreciative. They're sending me messages all the time. Yeah, they do tell me how I can improve my game, but I love them. They're awesome. He's just staying positive. But it probably is getting a little annoying at times when people send you stuff like, oh, you messed up here. You should have done this. You should have done that. Social media and access to players is greater than ever. And that's dangerous with prop betting. Let's just put it that way. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Neil's saying this. Hopefully our three-point shooting is better tonight. I still want Scotty and RJ to repeat and improve upon what they did last game. Yeah, I love what RJ did. He played perfect. He was exactly efficient. That's why he got the chain. That's why he's star Jay Barrett. Scotty, you know, just let Scotty continue to do what he's doing too. Don't take any outside shots, Scott. Go ahead and just work on the inside. Don't take another three for like a couple games unless it just happens to happen. You know, I'm totally fine with that. So I don't know. They had stuff to build off of from last game. They weren't exactly perfect, but they can improve. And we're going to be badasses. I think the three-point shooting will be a crucial thing tonight for sure. For sure. G saying this, Scotty running out in transition was key. He would sprint ahead once rebounds were grabbed. Yeah, the transition game and getting down the court is a huge key to us this year. And I like how guys are looking up to inbound the ball quickly and get that ball up the court as quickly as possible. And the high-level talent of passing long passes up court is very good on our team with people like Scotty and RJ around. So, yeah, these are keys and ways that the Raptors can win night in, night out this season. And, yeah, transition and running them on their heels is an important part. Scotty gets paint touches with less of the team back and a half-court defense from the other team. That's a better opportunity that he's going to make a basket at the rim. And also, I like that one of the biggest adjustments from some of the struggles in preseason that everybody saw with Scott is that he's getting to the rim stuff. That's what they're really looking at now. Scotty, you have to have a certain percentage of your shots are getting to the rim and forced towards the rim. And that's good. North-South basketball. That's right. That's what we want to see. Cool Cat saying the NBA is in great hands. All of the games are exciting. Well, it's in great hands unless the government's coming to try and destroy the NBA. And well, that does seem like yesterday's news is saying that the NBA is in trouble because the MAGA world is trying to put a distraction in the world on coming after us in the NBA. So yeah, I agree that the sport is in good hands with young stars and it's exciting, but this is dangerous what's happening right now with this FBI bullshit right now. I'm telling you, yeah. Fiercey saying have fun at the arena tonight, Mo. That's awesome. Power 35 saying we're about to beat the Bucks off the Bucks. Yeah, beat the bricks off the Bucks. I'm gonna give Power a dunk for that one. I love it. Good to see you back in the chat again today. Yeah, beat the bricks off the Bucks. I love it. I like that. All right, where's Powers at the bottom? He just got added recently, or is he on here? I don't even see him. Maybe I haven't given you a dunk yet. I thought I did at some point. We'll go ahead and give him a dunk now because I thought he was on here. He should be on here. I don't see him. That's weird. All right, Power is getting a dunk for the first time. Here we go. Yeah, that's weird, man. I should, you know what? I'm gonna give you a 30 just because you've been very helpful to the channel so recently with the super chat. So 30 dunks for Power. Let's see. Fiercey saying this: Clippers cooked. Utah destroyed them on opening night, despite only Markkanen and Kessler having a good game. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. G saying some Blue Jays news. Bo will be in the Blue Jays lineup today. That's fantastic. So Bo Bichette is going to be back. I've heard that maybe it's because his leg and he can't really run that great. You know, I wouldn't be surprised even if he's back if he doesn't play completely. It may be that he's available, but they don't exactly use him yet. I don't know. I don't know baseball as well, but I've heard that Bo Bichette is not 100% still, and they have to watch out. But they may be doing this just to have him on, like on their honorarily, or they need to have him on there because he will get better over the course of the series, and they have to add him to the World Series roster so he's eligible. So I don't know if he'll be playing tonight for sure. You're saying he is going to be in the lineup today for sure? Okay, we'll have to see. Fiercey saying, yes, I meant we play so good. We are noticed by the rest of the league. My bad. It's all right. It's just wording. It's kind of like if we don't have a comma here, some things can change meaning, stuff like that. Blackhawk saying we need to run Gary Trent Jr., Miles Turner, and Taurean Prince and AJ Green off the 3-point line. I agree with this. I think that if we make them kind of get in that mid-range or funnel them towards Jakob or shot blockers near the basket, that would be a good idea, good strategy for sure. Kaloy saying all of the posts regarding the FBI NBA gambling arrest have released the Epstein files in the comments. The people don't care about this. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that on all kinds of different things. Okay, they're destroying the White House. Who cares? Get the Epstein files out. Stop distracting. And I love that. That energy is important and it's real. You know, Virginia's memoir came out and I feel like it got edited. I've wanted more bombshells and like names from her memoir. The woman who mysteriously died earlier this year, Virginia, she very much names Prince Albert. Or Prince Andrew, sorry, Prince Albert, Prince Andrew as being very much somebody who sex trafficked her and like used her in very insidious, fucked up ways as a minor. And then she alludes that a number one billionaire is in there, but they don't say the name. And I mean, who's the number one billionaire? Is it Elon or is it Donald? I mean, seriously, it's one of those two guys. So they didn't totally fully come out with all the information from her memoir. And I wonder why. I wanted her to spill all the beans in her post life. Like she's not alive at this point. And in some ways, this book was supposed to really be a bombshell, but it's really kind of only rehashing stuff we already know. And in some ways, the names were not dropped in that memoir. And I'm wondering why. Has it been changed or altered by the editor? Under pressure in certain ways. I don't know. She was supposed to be naming people. And we already knew about Prince Andrew. That's not anything new. We knew about Epstein. We knew about Maxwell. But who are the other people? Who's the number one billionaire that they talk about in Virginia's memoir? I wonder if they took that name out, redacted. You know what I'm saying? Most a day one fan, 11 years with MLSE. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Way say this, Les, if what you say is true, the NBA is a joke. If fouls are a time management tool and not to enforce fairness and the rules in the game, no game is actually fair. Never heard of that before in any sport. Well, let's think about it this way. They're managing the game. The referees manage the game. In some ways, they're timekeepers. And I don't have a problem with what I'm saying right now. I don't think it's a joke for what I'm saying. I think that in some ways, once again, we got to realize this is a sports entertainment product, and they're trying to make the product better and better, and they'll do different things. Now, I know that may sound like a turnoff to you, but to me, it's just that the league is changing. And this has always been the case that there's periods of times in games where the refs will call heavy fouls and they won't call fouls other times. And the players know this, and they've gone through these periods of times. It's like I said, a red light, green light kind of game. But I think that it's just like, there's going to be innovation. They added the 3-point line. They may add another stuff in the future, like a 4-point line and stuff like that. It's just you got to get used to it. The fact that they may change the foul whistle throughout the game, you just have to be very aware during the periods of the game. And yeah, it could be really frustrating that all of a sudden something that was not a foul is a foul all of a sudden again, or something that was a foul earlier is not a foul all of a sudden now. I get that. And it is a way that they do manipulate things. But, part of it is really time management. And also I would say if a team's really that good, they can overcome it and beat it all. I mean, listen, a lot of people are saying the NBA is a joke right now today, but it's because of gambling and not necessarily about what I just said about the refs. I don't like that energy right now. In some ways, we should be defending the NBA right now to a degree because we love the NBA. I want to watch it still. I want to watch the Raptors. And the NBA may be in trouble right now, and we don't want to throw knives in the NBA right now. So, I mean, Wayne, if you feel like, oh, this sucks, I can't trust the NBA ever again, and it's not on the up and up, let's not kid ourselves. All the major sports have problems with this in different ways and are manipulated and kind of move towards different outcomes. We know this as the team called the Toronto Raptors. We know this. Boy saying Gilbert Arenas is so dumb, openly admitting to snitching to organized crime will get you killed. Yeah. And he has done that this week. Real idiot. Most giving me my cutoff. W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak Crew strong forever. Just helping me limit the comments. I appreciate that. And there's Mo on blast. Shaq Lindsay saying Gilbert said he'd rather snitch on a friend than on the mafia. Yeah, he's an idiot. Everything he says is dumb. And well, we'll just see what happens with Gilbert. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but I could see bad things happening somehow. Trevor, you got 2 names on here. That's weird. Let's see. Kareem saying Celebration Square is showing the game. Okay, there you go, Mississauga people. You can go down there. Raptor Champs saying good morning, Raptor Freak. Good morning, Raptor Freaks and Champs. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you again in here. Wayne saying basketball. I need to see our bench dominate. Our core 5 is fairly established. Consistency in bench play is crucial to top 4 placement. Bucks compared to Atlanta, never Raptors. I would say this. I can't say that our starters are established yet. They've only got one body of work in a regular season game. So we saw exemplary play from them in the last game. But what if we see them not so good in one of these games coming up? I don't think it'll be tonight, but it could be against Dallas or San Antonio or Houston or Cleveland next week. And, we're going to have to see the Raptors starters struggle a bit or maybe have trouble stagnating. And, Raptors fan nation will probably overreact to it and maybe go, oh, no, all this stuff. We got to understand allowances for failure and success. And the line goes up and down over that line in the middle. And, well, we want it to mostly be up above better, but there will be times where we dip down and things don't look exactly right. And we may not be playing as smooth. So they need more time for me to say that the starting 5 is established and trusted for the level of play that they're going to do. But there's all signs that they're going to be successful, and we should be fine with them. But it's too early. I can't say that we've established our starting lineup for sure is going to be this for the year. But it looks real good. First initial viewing of it. That's for sure. It does. Yeah. Bucks compared to Atlanta, never Raptors. Yeah, I don't see Bucks being better than Atlanta, honestly. I don't this year in the record, in the season. They're going to be higher than them by the end of the year. I'll bet you money. That's what I see. Let's see. Trevor's saying this. There's a scripture in the Bible when the people cry and begging God for a king, and he says the king you want will captain your children and enslave your men's, and that's what's happening right now. Okay, I don't totally understand that. I don't know the scripture, In some ways, I don't know exactly what you're saying. I'm just going to move over this comment because in some ways I don't totally understand it. So I don't want to opine on it or say any comment about it. Because in some ways, first of all, scripture and prophecies and stuff like that, Nostradamus, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm going to go no comment on this thing right here. Okay. Brian said this. What's up, Freak Nation? Tune in tonight for the live stream if you want. Yeah, if you guys want to watch To The Point live stream, I don't know what Brian's doing on there, but you guys go ahead if you want to. I'll be watching the game because I don't want a distraction. In some ways, I don't want a distraction during the game. Trevor's saying working and do not get paid, destruction to enslave people. Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying exactly, and in some ways, I don't really want to talk about this anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing my tabs, and we'll start moving towards getting done. Let's see. Raptors Instagram stories. We've got Pascal wishing a happy birthday to his dad. And I'd never realized just how big his father is. Like, seriously, there's a picture on Instagram stories for Pascal's account of him as a young boy standing next to his father. And his father is a very big man. Like, seriously, he looks like he's like Siakam's height, except he's built like Oliver Miller. So I didn't realize that his dad was such a big dude. If you guys want to see what Siakam's dad looked like, go look at his Instagram stories. It's amazing. And once again, he says he's doing it all for him, man. He's doing it all for his dad. That's what he is doing it for you. I love it. Chris Boucher has posted on his Instagram. Let's see. He's got him in the 99 for the Celtics and some guy dancing. Yeah, I guess it's game day for you tonight. Oh, this is funny. There's a guy coming in for a Zoom court meeting with the judge, and he's supposed to have his license suspended. And he comes on this Zoom meeting driving a car. And the judge says, "Are you driving a car right now?" And he's like, "Oh, crap." Like, how dumb do you have to be to do that? That's seriously dumb, man. Jamal McGlure is all about the Scarborough Shooting Stars. Season tickets are now available for next year, guys. If you want to buy season tickets for CBL Scarborough Shooting Stars, they're available already for next season, and that's in 2026. So that's pretty cool. I like that. There's the Raptors logo with the Blue Jays jersey on it. I like that look. It's fine for right now with the World Series, but once again, the crossover with the Jays and the Raptors needs to end when the Blue Jays are done with this season. In some ways, I want them to win the World Series. We go crazy. But after that, we need to go back to just Raptors stuff and no Blue Jays involvement. Seriously. Jamal McGlure did some pregame show with Leo Routens somewhere yesterday. I'm not sure where it was. It may be for NBA TV or something. Eric Smith's got the Blue Jays Raptors logo, and he's got his book on blast, We the Raptors. Y'all go buy Eric Smith's book with Andrew Bricker, 30 Raptors, 30 stories, 30 years of Raptors. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. CBL's got the Insider Monthly app. If you want to go get CBL Monthly Insider, go get the app. It's awesome. Colin Murray Boyle's got his card on blast. Y'all go get Colin Murray Boyle's Topps card or Raptors Topps card. That's right. Let's see who else we got. It's game day, and there's Brandon Ingram on the promo for tonight. And the jackpot for tonight's 50-50 draw is $28,135 already, guys, before you even get the arena. Emmanuel quickly posted this picture. Like when Darko did his celebration in the locker room the other day after the game, he ran around like he was hitting all the players. Like, he went around like this. And there's some still shots from that of like Scott flinching, like, oh, like, what are you doing? Or Emmanuel, like, whoa. And like, there's one picture that looks like Darko's drawing back to punch Emmanuel. Emmanuel's got his thing back. It's not a good look. Darko, why are you trying to look like you're beating up your team, man? Seriously. In some ways, I don't like this look. It's like Emmanuel's reposted because he thinks it's funny. But isn't there a game called Two for Flinching? Either way, like, I don't like the look of the Raptors coach drawing back like he's punching at our point guard. That's no good. And some people put that on there on Raptors Reddit. Somebody put a caption on there when Emmanuel makes a timeout. This is how we feel. I mean, a turnover. That's how we feel. I'm like, that's not cool. That's not cool. We're not talking about having physical violence towards Emmanuel quickly because he makes a turnover. And anybody who's watching Emmanuel like that with a microscope, you need to stop. Seriously, that's the wrong kind of energy, Raptors Reddit. That's right. There's Lindsey Dunn at the Rogers Center, and there is the logo. World Series is on the AstroTurf at the Old Sky Dome. That's right. It's World Series. They got that logo in the bullpen. They got it all over the place in the dugout. That's right. World Series Media Madness. There's so many people in the city, not just for the game, but the media, the fans, everybody. It's a big deal. It's the World Series. It's a big deal. That's right. Trey Savage will take the mound for the Blue Jays tonight. Look where he's come in his past year. Holy crap. OG Anunoby's posting him getting a breakaway dunk from a steal for the Knicks against the Cavaliers in their first game of the season. OG was the leading scorer for the Knicks on opening night. Let's go, OG. That's right. Raptors, the mascot has got the Raptor Blue Jays logo on blast. Norman Powell, once again, has got Grind Media Group started. So there's a social media group for his brand, Understand the Grind. You can go check it out. You subscribe to his new media group. And yeah, there you go. Next stop, Memphis. And Norman looks a little sad. They did lose their first game, I believe. Raptors 905 wants you to nominate a hero. Nominate your teacher for a chance to win prizes for you and your class. If you nominate your teacher, kids in school, you might get to go to 905 games. So go on then and nominate your hero teacher, presented by Pizza. That's right. There you go. Also, Savannah Hamilton has a new episode on CBC Sports with Arash. It's out on YouTube, so check that out. There's your Instagram stories for today. Siakam's dad is big. He was a big dude, man. That dude was big dude, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, yeah. Wayne saying this, I've seen tennis games go for hours, so my disgust of a referee time managing such competition. Time management is governed by quarters. Can't see not calling fouls to get the game over on time. Good. I mean, I don't mind it in some ways. I mean, we got to game it for both sides of it, Wayne. You know, this is actually good for us because they can't call all the fouls. What we're saying here is foul away and do all the fouls in the world and the way we play. And that's fine because they can't call all of them because we don't have enough time. So, I mean, we can't change the rules. We can't change what the presentation of the NBA and what they want. So we got to game what they want to do to our advantage. And that's why I say, Darko, go ahead and foul the hell out of them. And, go let them go to the line. But they can't call all the fouls, and our aggressive defense will do good things for us. So I don't know. I understand your distaste for this. And I get it. You're a purist, and you want a pure competition. Well, let's not get it twisted. The sports entertainment element of the NBA is there, just like the WWE. We know it's like that. I'm disgusted in a way about it, but I'm beyond it. I'm like, I don't want to get upset about this. This is piddly. There's so many different things in the world to get upset about right now. And in some ways, I accept that the NBA has become more of a sports entertainment product than a genuine a competition at this point. It sucks. In some ways, I wish it was like that. But who knows when that transition changed from that to that. It's slowly been doing that. And I think it's been more accelerated under Adam Silver's tenure. Seriously, it's been way more sports entertainment under Adam Silver, but it did kind of start going sports entertainment when Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and Larry Bird became prominent. So it's tough thing. Kaloy saying, I want to see the defense that Darko will employ to Wemby. I want them to deny him the ball and double every Wemby possession. Let Castle and Harper beat us instead. Yeah, that's a little ahead. That's 3 games from now. That'll be Monday preview. I'll talk about that. We'll be doing a reaction and a preview on Monday morning. So it's going to be a very busy Monday morning on the channel with double duty. Reaction to the Dallas game and previewing the Spurs game on Monday morning. And we'll definitely be talking about this. Yeah, Wemby's a load. And Wemby has leveled up this year, evidently. After working out with Olajuwon this past summer and going to a monastery and meditating with the monks in Asia, Wemby has gotten to another level, apparently. And, well, they're expecting this from him. He is Wemby. And we're going to see what happens. Yeah, Seymour saying, Gilbert Arenas, you snitched on all them people. F you, Gilbert. That's right. You lose respect with people like me and Seymour Pape when you rat. You rat, you dirty rat. That's right. He's a dirty rat. And that's right. Kaloy saying, man, thank the creator that Wemby is on the West. We only see him 2 times a year. Yeah, I mean, and I also think that he's on my other team, on my Western team. I love the Spurs, and I really like this year's team. I was looking at their roster, and I like it more than recent years. Like, I felt like there's been knuckleheads a lot on the Spurs, but this year's team is really cool. I like Kelly being on it, and Bismack, too. They got Biyombo back this season with them. So there's a very likable team. I'm a big fan of Castle, and Dylan Harper's a neat kid. We'll have to see how he does.
And yeah, Keldon Johnson, some of the longstanding guys that are still around there, they have a very talented team. I also like Sohan. I'm a very big fan of Jeremy. So I root for them. And of all the Western teams, I root for them the most. So I am very happy about the age of Wemby, because if they're going to be on a Western team, they're on my team out West, Spurs, a team that I rooted for long before their dynasty. I started rooting for the Spurs in 1989 with David Robinson. That's when I started rooting for the Spurs, long before Tim Duncan showed up and they got the championships. Yeah. So I'm not a ring chaser. I'm not somebody who just jumped on the Spurs bandwagon because they won a lot. No, I started with them way before they won, and I'm still with them now. And that's why when Wemby got there, I was like so happy. Oh my God, it was so good. And even if the NBA manipulated, he would go to Popovich, that was the right move. That was the right move. It was a choice between Houston and San Antonio. San Antonio was the better spot for Wemby to be at. So yeah, I have no problem with it. We only see them twice a year. You're right, Kaloy. Thank God. Thank God we only see them twice a year. Seymour said, I worked Dragon's Den yesterday, scored a ton of stuff. Cool. Man, people are different when the camera is on. You work Dragon's Den? What? Dragon's Den? What's that going on? You got Dragon's Den going on over there? Robert Herjavec? Oh, that's weird, man. I have questions. What's going on with Dragon's Den with Seymour Pate? That's crazy. Spurs legend Tiago Splitter, now the head coach of Portland. Yeah, he's replacing Chauncey. Since Chauncey, man, he's done. I mean, if he becomes exonerated and he's absolutely innocent, he should be allowed to go back to where he was. But in some ways, there's so much damage now on this in his reputation. This is really, really bad. Really, really bad for the NBA. Really bad for Portland Trailblazers. Really bad for Chauncey Billups. Really, really bad, man. Really bad. All right, let me keep going with my tabs. Tiago Splitter. Yeah, he's going to be the new coach right now. All right, Raptors Reddit reactions. Let's see. Yeah, there's that picture of Darko lashing out at IQ, and it says, all of us when IQ commits a bad turnover. That's a horrible post. You're an idiot, whoever posted that on Raptors Reddit. Yeah. And then there's the picture of him yelling at Scotty, let's fucking go. And Scotty's like, oh, he's like, come on, man. Your energy's too much, bro. Energy's too much. Somebody wanted to change the Raptors Reddit to say Toronto Rangers on it. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that and putting a little Rangers hat on them. No, fuck that, man. That's that idiot, the FBI guy's idiot. In some ways that was shade on us on a general level. They misnamed us. Like, we're not as important to get our name right. Seriously, that's part of what that is. It's so fucked up and stupid, man. See, here's one of the memes I'm talking about. On I guess this is something like basketball something. It says, breaking news, 4 NBA teams were mentioned in the illegal sports gambling investigation, including the Hornets, the Lakers, the Raptors, and the Trailblazers. They're saying they were mentioned in it. In some ways, that gives it makes people think that they're involved in illegal gambling. They're not telling the full story. That's why these meme news things are no good, because it's making it sound like these teams are involved in illegal gambling, and that's messed up. No, they're saying these are the teams that were gambled on, and it's not that the teams are involved in the gambling. Words matter the way you structure sentences, and you can be misleading when you leave out important details, meme makers, you pieces of shit. And fuck you, Cash Patel. That's what I say on that, man. That's right. All right, there you go. Somebody's made Toronto Rangers logo with the New York Rangers logo, and they just put Toronto over the name. There's Peter Griffith saying, oh, good. He thinks we're the Rangers. He'll leave us alone. That's pretty funny. Some of this shit is funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Seymour saying that boy Gilbert better run to Cuba. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah, you might be right. Seriously, you might be right. Let's see what else. Blue Skies, anything interesting here? No, I don't see that. Doug Smith's asking for a mail for his ye old mailbag. Straight goods on Canadian goods, guys. You guys want some Canadian soup? It's getting colder, and it's coming into soup season. So maybe you want to get a good Canadian, 100% Canadian soup, Canadian owned, manufactured in Canada using quality ingredients. That's Primo. Primo Foods is Canadian. Primo soup. If you see the soup and it says Primo on the label, you can buy it and know you're buying Canadian soup. Primo, just like Primo pasta, but Primo soup is what I'm talking about today. Primo, that's right. All right, let me see. Where are we in the chat? We got down to the bottom there. I guess it's time for the classic cards. Guys, I'm not doing the birthday today because it is a certain individual's birthday today. I don't give a shit. So we don't even need to talk about it. All right. Y'all can figure out whose birthday is today that I'm omitting today. And yes, that is why I am omitting it. I am not doing his birthday today because I don't give a fuck that it's your birthday, man. DeMar DeRozan forever is what I say right now. All right, here we go. Here's the classic card of the day. Not very classic. Get your full name answer in now. Look at this guy. And look at, yeah, this is easy. You know who this is. This guy has been a pawn in trades that, you know what? He was very important to a championship in the recent years. That's right. Drew Holiday, good spelling, Kaz. You got it right in there just before Fiercey. So Trucker Kaz is getting the card of the day. And of course, Trucker Kaz got a bunch of classic cards delivered to his house this week. And I asked him, I said, Kaz, did you recognize some of those cards from the show? He's like, I did, Lex. I did recognize some of the classic cards in the package of classic cards that you sent me. So there you go. Good job, Kaz, getting Drew Holiday of the Portland Trailblazers. That's right. He is on the Trailblazers this year. And I think that's just poetic justice in a way, too, in itself. So, yeah, Kaz is the one. And it's not that hard. I got to give you 50 for that. That's an easy card. So, yeah, all right, we got done. All right, let me do the wrap up real quick. We'll go over the pertinent news for the game tonight, and I'll do it in the next 5 minutes to get done in 2.5 hours. All right, guys, we're playing the Bucks tonight. The injury report right now, let me see if it's been updated. I don't think it has probably changed, is that Kevin Porter Jr. is out for the Bucks. He has an ankle injury. He will not play tonight. Giannis is day-to-day. He has a back injury. He is probable to play tonight. But we've known that Giannis will sit out against the Raptors at least one game a season. So will we see Giannis tonight or not? Maybe we don't. Maybe we do. They're hoping he will play because Darko intends to activate Colin Murray-Boyles for his first ever game in the NBA tonight to specifically guard Giannis and give him some training against one of the best in the league. So I'm fully predicting Colin Murray-Boyles will make his NBA debut as a rookie tonight at the Scotiabank Arena against Milwaukee. So you should see him play, but Jacoby is not going to be playing tonight. Jacoby Walter is out due to illness this week. He is sick, and he is not scheduled to play tonight. He is already ruled out. Otherwise, everybody else should be there, guys, as far as our starters and the rest of the crew. The referee crew is troubling to an extent. Our crew chief tonight is Scott Foster. He heavily favors the Milwaukee Bucks. The second ref is Rodney Mott, another veteran senior official. He favors the Bucks. And the third ref is the Canadian ref, Matt Callio. He favors the Raptors statistically. So in some ways, the Raptors may get into a game where they have to beat the refs also. Scott Foster may be here in Toronto to hold up storylines of sports entertainment for Adam Silver and make sure that the Bucks beat the Raptors tonight. So watch him very closely. My strategy against this is Raptors do it just like you did in Atlanta. Kick their ass so much that the refs can't have any partiality to control the game and the outcome. If you guys just beat their ass so bad, Scott Foster can't give the win to the Bucks. But if the game is close at the end of the game and it's very much a decision that the referees can make to decide who's going to win, they will give the game to Milwaukee tonight. So don't even let that be a possibility. Throughout my fandom of the Raptors, for like 15 years, I've been saying this. Dwayne Casey, Nick Nurse, Darko, get a double-digit lead at the end of the game so that you don't have to any kind of worry about somebody like Scott Foster fudging around with the game at the end to help the other team win. If you keep that double-digit lead and you keep that lead wide, they cannot fudge things to come and get you and win the game. So don't play with your food. Get that maple syrup double-digit lead, pour it on thick, and you will be fine just like you were in Atlanta on Wednesday night. So, yeah, that's how we negate Scott Foster. We play so good. We blow out the Bucks, so there's no possible way that the referees can help Giannis. Because let's not get it twisted. They want to write storylines. They saw how impressive we looked in Atlanta, and Scott Foster is a governor coming to our city to govern the great play by the Raptors and hold it down. So we just have to see how he calls the calls. We're watching you, Scott. And in some ways, the Raptors should be better than the team that's on paper for the Bucks, and they should be better than them to beat them and the refs if they have to. So I'm fully predicting the Raptors will win tonight, and I'm hoping they will blow them out, James, because in some ways a blowout will make it more easier for us to win without Scott Foster trying to put his fingerprints on the outcome. So yeah, that's really it right there. Beat them on 3-point line and other areas, and we'll be all right, guys. That's right. Seymour saying FBI should have bagged Scott Foster. Well, that's what Isaac was joking. He's saying, what if they arrest Scott Foster before the game tonight? It would be crazy, man. All right, guys. All the best to y'all. I hope y'all have a fantastic Friday. Let's go Blue Jays. Let's get this game 1 win over the Dodgers. I'm rooting for you guys so hard, but I'm also rooting for my Raptors on their home opener. It's a fantastic night. I hope Monique has a fantastic time of the game. Anybody who's going to the games, have a great time. Cheer your Raptors on to victory. Get there on time before the arena, the 6:30 start. That means get there early so that you don't miss any of the game. I don't want to see an empty arena out there. All right, y'all. Thank you. I'll see you guys. Let's get some points in the paint, Raptors. Let's outscore them from outside. Let's outshoot them. Let's get to their 3-point shooters, chase them off the line, and let's win tonight. That's what I'm saying right there. Stargate saying it would be a romp, not it would be RCMP, not FBI. Yeah, it wouldn't be that. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors and Blue Jays. Woo! Let's go Raptors. Woo!